7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow!
Dude,
Nice.
what? My
You
God.
like that?
That was Matrix stuff there. That was great.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
I was just playing on CapCut last night. But, why not? So, how are you people this morning?
Well, in shock after that, mate.
Speechless. Absolutely speechless.
Amazing. Well done, Mikey.
Thank you.
Yeah, good.
That's
Thanks.
great.
How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, sorry about leaving it to the last minute to decide to do the live.
Just good.
I mean, last minute it was like 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, you messaged me to see what you should do.
Yeah, I asked Gary if he'd come on the live before I asked anyone else if they wanted to do it. Because I knew that me and Gary could just hold the show by ourselves if we needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I asked
professionals.
Benjamin Netanyahu to see if he wanted to join, and he declined.
Oh, don't be bringing that up.
Okay.
Oh, God, don't go down that road.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what he said to me.
Very good.
So, we've got a few comments already. I've really just started. Yeah.
Yes.
We've got Duke. Says, good day, all you beautiful people. Good day, Duke.
Great, Duke. How
Hey.
do you, man?
G'day,
I said, good day, Mucker. And Tiffany said, morning, Duke. Steve said, hello, everyone. And Columbus says, evening, all.
hello.
I said, morning, gents. And Gordon Freeman's in. And he says, good morning. Good morning, Gordon. And Tiffany said, good morning, Gordon. There you go. That's a short list of comments so far today.
So isn't Gordon your D&D character, Mikey?
No, that's Gordon Bennett.
Oh, right. Okay, so he's not tuned in.
No.
He's busy fighting, swinging sticks around. Okay.
He's a paladin. He has a giant sword and lots of armor.
Very good.
Yeah. So what are you guys going to be working on today?
Gary first.
Gary first.
Me.
Go,
I'm
Gary.
going to be painting some 1/48 scale ICM American air and ground crew figures from World War II
Nice.
to go with my B-26, and I have you can't really see it, scratch built a paint bucket to go with it, because this figure here is holding a paintbrush and he's going to be painting the invasion stripes on the top wing of the B-26.
That's cool. Like that.
So that's what I'll be up to.
What about you, John?
I'm going to be doing this thing. It's a mini art 1/35 scale Big Panzer T60. Yeah. So with full interior and all that sort of stuff. So it's out of, I wouldn't say my comfort zone, but it's certainly out of my swimming lane. I think, something I don't usually do, but it looks like it's going to be a fun build. So why not? I'll be doing that.
Excellent. So what will I be doing? Bing. I'm going to be working on spraying my diorama, which I should have been spraying for a couple of days. It's just I keep putting it off because I can't bother getting my spray booth out. But I'm going to tape that up first and spray that, which is going to be the corner of the building. And then I'm going to prime up the universal carrier.
Oh, that's one build that I would do in a heartbeat. I think a universal carrier looks fun.
Well, funnily enough, I do have a spare.
Do you? Well,
So
what a pity.
if you wanted to get one, we could build one.
Oh, I'd have to come over to Telford.
Duke Wellington says, sorry, Gary, I missed your live show. I'll watch it on catch up.
No worries. No worries.
Steve says, when building a kit, what part do you dread working on the most? For me, it's vehicle leaf springs. They're a real ball ache to clean up, and I can never get all the damn seams off. good tip for that is just run a little bit of smear extra thin along the seam, and then just use the back of your scalpel to scrape it off gently, and it'll come off smooth then. Because the smear extra thin melts the seam. And then you just rub it down with a sort of very fine sand stick or sanding paper. Yeah. Duke says, "Good day, Gordon. My actual name is Paul Freeman."
Oh,
It is. I only found that out the other day when he commented on my Facebook page saying, "By the way, just to let you know, I'm otherwise known as Duke Wellington." He's been liking and commenting on my posts for ages, and I never clicked that it was Duke.
there you go.
So I'm just that special.
Paul Freeman. So, just to confirm, you're not the ex-Australian Air Force warrant officer, Paul Freeman?
Ooh. There's an interesting question. He could be.
Well, I don't know. Only he can answer, because I've got no clue.
Steve says, "Great stream last night, Gary. Really enjoyed it."
Cool. I'm glad you did. I love doing them. I really, really like doing them.
They're good fun, aren't
they? They are lots of fun.
I missed it and I haven't watched back yet, but I will be catching up as I always do.
The budget model is in.
Talk to you, John. It's all right, mate. Don't worry. I'll still talk to you.
Budget model is in. He says, "Morning, Shaxters."
Oh, hello.
Nice of you to join us from your lofty heights at HQ. Sorry, joking.
VO4.
Duke says, "You are on report, John."
Oh, God.
Yeah. You are on a fizzer.
Yes. Jankers at dawn.
CB04.
He's Steph's on, and he says he's joining us at Molpera's headquarters. Hello, Malcolm, if you're there.
So.
And Duke says, "No, I'm not that one, John."
Oh, thank God. No, he was fine.
That's damning with faint praise, isn't it? No, he was fine.
It was okay.
He was, yeah, right. Okay.
Crikey.
Sorry, go on, John. Okay.
Well, I'm up to okay, I've cut one piece out. So the second piece, what I was going to do was these bits. Those long bits would cover over the torsion bars across the bottom of the chassis, right? And see how there's...
Do you want us to zoom you in?
No, yeah, okay, why not? See how there's one hole each side?
Yes.
That? Right. Well, the pieces have two on one side, one on the other. I'm just, okay.
Fiendishly clever.
So I'm just like, first step, I'm just like, flummoxed, huh? Oh, well. I guess it'll all be hidden at the end of the day. You won't see it because it'll be like that. But, you know, whatever. I'll carry on.
Fiendish.
CA1. CA.
Oh, that was an interesting discussion about the possibility of Duke being a former warrant officer.
Yeah.
That you knew. Do any of you ever feel trepidation when you bump into people that you knew in the forces?
Oh.
Being given that,
nothing
some
to
of
do
us
with rank.
left on medical grounds, some of us left on other grounds.
Yeah.
Shaky grounds.
What it comes down to, I think, is the analogy I've heard before about Facebook is, whether someone is a friend or not, whether they're a Facebook friend, inverted commas, is whether it's somebody you would cross the street to say hello to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's maybe a good judge of who's an actual friend or whatever. Now, obviously, it's a bit weird because there are friends that I haven't met, including you, Mikey.
Yeah.
there's a couple of people I don't want to see again, but a lot of that just comes down to.
That's no way to speak about Gary.
I've met him once in Telford, and that's it. Jesus.
Yeah, I met once at Telford. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You didn't tell me you've been to Telford, John.
Oh, well, have I not? Well, this must be. What are we in? Wow, 11 minutes in. Maybe it's. I've been to Telford. Okay, that box is ticked.
Yeah, been there, done that.
So 11 of those. I think it's 12. Maybe they're the track pieces. So individual links and. Ugh. What have we got? 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, there's another one of those. Another one of those. 5. Still haven't found the one I'm after. Oh, yep, that's one of them. CA.
That's man, Neville. First your bloody appendix, something? Having a whinge?
Oh, there we go. 1, 2. Should be another one. Hey! There we go. There's so many sprues in this kit.
Are you going to stop whinging about this kit or?
No, I'm not complaining. I'm just, if anything, yeah, like, no, I'm not complaining. I genuinely
You're not
wanna
even
build
sure
it.
yourself anymore, are you?
No, I want to go. I want to do it because, as I say, like, I've built from memory. I think this will be my 5th tank ever.
Go, John.
So, and in order, a Yug Panther I built in the 80s, a Mark IV,
Yes.
showing
Which you
here
built-
because it's not finished yet, but I bought some chain for it today, so hooray.
Yeah.
A Panzer II that I built with Gary's thing, built a kit 50 years old or more. That was a Panzer II. The 1, 2, 3. The 4th one was the Whippet. So this will be the 5th tank.
Excellent.
Wow.
So I should get some time up, hey?
Columbus Models says, John, are you going to scale ACT this year in Canberra? By the end of this weekend, I will have my trip there all booked. Then it's a long wait until November.
I believe not. I think it clashes with an event that's already on, a family thing. Trying to remember the dates of that. Let me just Google that.
Whilst doing that, we'll go on to the next one. Duke said, I told you to do the SE5A, John.
I know. Well, I'll tell you, what I was going to do was just flummox everybody and do one that didn't even come up in the list.
Squarish is in, aka James. Says, good morning. Good morning, James. Nice to have you with us again. We had a good social session last night. It was a good laugh.
Let's see. Scale ACT 24. 9th and 10th and 11th. Oh, yes, there's a wedding, a family wedding.
I've probably said this before, but James is one of the people I play Dungeons and Dragons with.
No.
Yeah. And we play on a Tuesday evening. And at the minute, it's just me, James, and the DM. So we get on some quite strange adventures because there's only the two of us. Last week,
that's what I'm doing on that weekend. I'm sorry, I don't know if you've heard of it. Go on. Last week.
Yeah. So last week, James's character was infiltrating a gang of criminals, but because my character is an orc, he wasn't allowed to go along. So we come up with the decision so that he could tell me if he needs help, if he gets into trouble. His character would tell his cat to come and find me, and I had to follow the cat. So because I had nothing to do, I decided that my character was walking around the town slowly getting more and more drunk, picking up cats, talking to them to see if they were the right cat.
Oh, wow.
And as the story progressed, he got more and more drunk, and it progressed from cats to dogs, and eventually he was picking up squirrels to talk to them, and asking them if they were the one that sending a message from James's character.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was, because like a lot of the storyline was taught about James's character, so it's just like when there's a little quiet moment in the story when they were deciding something, I'd come out with, and Grimmack's picked up a squirrel, and he's now asking the squirrel if he's seen Lunder, whilst also spilling his beer all over it.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I'm not able to make it to Scale ACT again this year. So last year was it was a Telford weekend last year, but yeah, this year what do they call the QI elves? If you've heard, yeah, if you watch QI, I've heard of it.
With Stephen Fry.
Yes, and yeah, and Sandy Toxic. The people who come up with the facts on that have a podcast called No Such Thing as a Fish, and they're touring around the world, and they'll be playing at Sydney Opera House that night. So it's a very funny podcast, and we'll be otherwise disposed. So I'm afraid I'm going to give you up for some English people.
Some learning.
Some culture.
Yeah. And the occasional ass joke, because, you know, it's funny.
Yeah. Well, it's English humour, so you got to have a toilet joke in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, it's a very funny podcast. Oh! So far. So this will be my third mini art kit.
James has just said, Grimmark, which is my character, clearly wishes he was a druid as well. To be honest, probably the best you weren't in the sewers. Things got interesting in probably a bad way. Yes. I was having fun. My character was having fun getting drunk. Just walking around, picking up random animals, not realising it was broad daylight. And everyone was watching him.
That's a standard.
Sorry, go on.
That's a standard Saturday for some people around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Used to be standard Saturday in our town. Columbus says, no such thing as a fish. Are really good to see live. I've seen them when they came to New Zealand. You'll definitely enjoy them, John.
Ah. Thank you, and I'm sorry I won't see you.
Steve says, this is my first mini art kit. I do have another, a 1919. You got a 1919 omnibus. That's one of the kits I've been trying to get for fucking months. Because I want to make it into a World War I troop bus.
Yeah, but there's a troop bus kit available.
Yeah, but have you tried getting hold of it?
Well, they got them down here. Just come to Australia, mate.
Oh, yeah, I'll just pop on a plane to Australia to pick up a kit, yeah?
Well, I went to your place to pick up a kit. I mean, cripes.
You got an RAF pension.
Double AF pension. It's not worth anything.
Yeah. $20,000 a year is about 20p a month. 20p a year, isn't it? In the UK money.
Anyway, moving on. Don't want to disparage the Australian government for fear of not having a pension anymore.
Yeah.
My pension is 60p a week when I turn 60, mate. Be glad of it. That's my war pension.
Yeah, I'm on a bit more.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. With inflation, it's now 90p a week when I turn 60.
Wow.
Well,
yeah.
Don't spend it all at once, man.
I know, yeah.
That's a
if
house.
I smoked, it wouldn't be enough for a cigarette.
Yeah.
That's a house. It's a house drawn by a 3-year-old.
Yeah. Here, child, draw me a picture of a house for £1. Oh, damn, I can't afford it.
So by the time it comes to you getting your pension, you probably won't even be able to afford a flump with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in some of the shops around here, they're 30p now.
But do you know what? I'm still going to bloody claim it because I'm not having the government keeping my pension.
Yeah.
Even if it's only 90p a week. Dirty, rotten swines. But that's another rabbit hole we won't go down.
So talking to Bron, we went for a walk a couple of hours ago. We were walking around, and I said, "Oh, by the way, I'm live again, 8 p.m. with Mikey," and told her what was going on, and she said, "Like, do these people have jobs?" I said, "Well, they're all, some of them, well, not Gary, but
Yes,
well,
this
actually,
is it.
yeah." I said, like, they're pensioners. It's like, what? So they don't work either. I said, well, no, they're all, some of them are quite broken for various reasons and stuff like that. So I just mentioned what is happening with you lately, Mikey, and what Gary's been through and stuff like that. And she was like, oh, yeah, I guess I just never mentioned it before. But yeah,
We don't like
it's
to
a
talk
thing.
about it. We don't
It's a
talk about
thing.
it, but yeah. Myself and not posh Gary are quite broken people physically.
As am I.
I went to a introduction to diabetes thing yesterday.
Oh,
And very
lovely
nice.
wheel.
So
Yeah,
did
lovely wheel.
you sign up for which form you want, or how does that work?
Oh, it's in a very nice hospital I've not been to before. It's a old Victorian building. So as you're walking around, it's still all the old Victorian architecture with the arches in the corridors and things like that.
Oh, right.
And all the old tile walls and things. It's very nice. I actually really enjoyed walking around it.
Well, at least you're able to walk.
Yeah. Well, kind of. That's his mistake. But when I sat at the table, it was only for like an hour and a quarter. And
that's weird.
Those horrible old chairs have got the wooden armrests either side.
Mm-hmm.
And I could feel my back getting more and more sore and the muscles getting tighter. And I thought, I know what's going to happen. As soon as I stand up, my back's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came to the end, I stood up. I thought, oh, great. The back's eased off. Oh, no. And I went straight down. And I landed sort of with one archie on the arm of the chair. And I was gripping the table and I couldn't move. I couldn't move my fingers or anything because everything had just tensed up.
Well,
and this guy next to me was like,
It didn't happen if it's not on YouTube. Load it up. You'll get hits.
Well, this old guy next to me was like, "You right, mate? Do you want me to move the chair?" Like, no, it's the only thing stopping me falling.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll pass it. It'll pass in a minute. And after a few minutes, obviously, the spasm passed. But yeah.
Yeah, not fun.
No, that's what keeps happening at the minute. I can't even though my stepdad is being very kind and he's doing my garden for me because he's a gardener. He's decided that he wants to make my garden more accessible for me and make it tidier and stuff. He's even managed to get hold of a bench and brought a bench down so that I can sit in the garden. Problem is, it's a metal bench, and because it's low down, as soon as I sit on it, within a few seconds, my back starts going into spasm. So I can't sit on it. So I have to stand with my walking stick, and that's it. But it's handy because the wife can sit on it. And he's going to level the patio and things like that for us.
Okay.
Which is very nice of him. Yeah, so that's what happens with me. I get because it feels like the bottom of my back's completely locked up. So if I try and bend it or anything, or try and sit down on a seat that's slightly too low or anything like that, the back goes into spasm and it causes all my muscles to contract. So if I'm standing, I just fall to the floor and not able to move anything. I just sort of talk through gritted teeth until it passes.
Yeah.
Which, that coupled with the diabetes, and it's normally with diabetes, you don't tend to get hypos unless your medication's not under control and you're not eating and stuff. But sometimes, quite often, I will have a hypo and they come on very quickly. And it's usually when we've decided to go out shopping in the afternoon and I've not been given a chance to have some dinner or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I start on a hypo, I'll be fine 1 minute, then I'll start feeling a bit warm. And in a couple of minutes, I'm absolutely dripping with sweat. I'm starting to feel like I'm going to pass out. And if I don't get something to eat very quickly, then I will just fall over.
Well, I want you to work for that 90p a month.
I know. So that can be quite scary because I don't know when it's going to happen. And it happened quite quickly. So yeah, I'm doing well for a 36-year-old. 36-year-old knackered. So anyway, on to lighter topics.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the
So
Middle
yeah,
East again.
Steve, this omnibus, I'm not happy. How did you manage to get an omnibus?
You know what? I've got a thing. I've got to find my thing. I've got an SMS tool.
Your penis?
No, it's a good thing. It's
Your penis isn't a good thing.
well,
It's the first time I've heard a bloke say
it's
that.
tied and clapped out, and you know, and the walking stick
You
is
look
the
a
only
little
thing
bit
keeping it
sad
upright.
these days, John.
Yeah. Well, why not? Depends who you talk to. No, I've got an SMS ceramic scraper for trimming things like, wheels of tanks and stuff like that. He says as if he knows what he's talking about. But it doesn't sort of bounce if you sort of scrape something.
Yeah.
I've just got to find it though, because there's I mentioned there's these little torsion covers have two holes in them. One of them wasn't formed properly, so I just want to. What am I caring? It's all going to be covered up. I'll look for it anyway.
You're just whinging for nothing now, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're whinging for effect.
Bloody Australians. Whereas I don't know.
I'm going to put my top camera on because I'm going to be spraying. So, I ordered a
when
new
you-
spray system as well.
And you just use the scale model shop.
Yes.
They have a mini art omnibus on there.
Send me the link.
I will send it in Discord. It is a decent amount, but
Yeah, I'll have a look at the price and decide.
it's actually on sale at the moment as well.
Yes. Even the sale price then can be quite dear, though.
I'll get you, Butler. If
To
it's
be
the
fair-
last thing I do.
The way you were describing, it is less than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It should be about what?
40 quid, something.
£40?
Yeah, mini art ones are usually about 40 to 50 quid.
Yeah. Look at me doing conversions in my head.
But you just got to times everything. You just got to divide everything by 100, don't you?
Yeah, I've just got to double everything, but I'm not a smart woman.
Oh, you're not thick though, John. Steve says he stuck an image of of his omnibus on Discord channel just to annoy me.
Yes.
It is the one. It's the same. It's the same one as well.
Mhm.
It's the one you can actually make into a World War One bus.
Let me see
True transport.
if it's the one that, because I didn't buy it. They had the omnibus and the coal truck, and I wanted both, but I got neither. So I've been a bit slack.
They of course converted them into mobile pigeon lofts as well. 53 quid. That's a bit much for me.
Oh yeah, that one. That's
Yeah.
the first one.
It's a bit rich for my blood. That 53 quid.
But like, I saw someone eBay, but they were wanting like 40 quid with 40
Yeah.
quid delivery.
Yeah, they take the Michael a little bit.
Just a bit.
I might just see if I can find a 3D print.
But if you can find the STL file, ask Gary.
That's what I'm thinking. Give him the money.
Yeah.
Buy him something or something. Ah, look at that. I forgot what I was doing with that. Interesting. So, yes, Steve, very jealous, not happy. You have to fall out with you. I won't do that. I don't fall out with people unless they're total assholes. Amazes me. I'm still talking to John.
Not wrong. I try my hardest.
Yeah.
But, you let me back in every week. Every couple of days, you send me a new sort of StreamYard link. I'm just still, God.
I know, right? Oh, damn it. I forgot to take my tablet. Oops. Better take that quick. Excuse me a second.
Talk amongst yourselves.
We're going to go make another cuppa. Shan't be long.
Okay.
Oh, what the hell? 1, 2, 3.
So I'm very excited, John, because my Spitfire is about 10 minutes away.
Which Spitfire is that? Oh, the
Mark
new
8.
Mark 8.
Yeah, I got an email from the Dale yesterday saying, we're sending one to you. Sort of, okay, mate, I'm not going to say no. Thank you very much. And it's the delivery guy says he's about 10 minutes away.
Fantastic.
So I was looking at the schemes, and actually, it's just got to be the Australian one with the shark's mouth on it.
Yeah.
I like the Burma colours. The American all metal one would be a challenge, but that shark's mouth just looks so cool.
It does.
So are we going to have a live unboxing on the show, Gary?
Possibly.
Ooh.
So that's a smaller version of the same aircraft-ish, different registration, but this is Bobby Gibbs, who's the founding squadron of my second last squadron.
Oh, wow.
Oops, sorry, hit a button there. So around the corridor at 3 Squadron, they got lots of things of his that are signed by him and all that stuff like that. He was a bit of a legend. And he did a lot for the troops afterwards.
Excellent.
He died before I went there, of course, but only a couple of years. He did everything wrong through his career. He was a naughty boy. Like he had he was him and a couple of his mates were brewing alcohol and all that sort of stuff. And he was constantly in trouble and running from court martials and stuff like that. But his troops loved him, of course. All his squadron mates loved him because alcohol.
Yeah. Oh, I just heard the front doorbell.
So did I.
And it's DPD. Right, I'm going to be back in 1 minute.
I don't know what DPD means. Is that? Oof. Okay. This is very small. So there's a new, you know how I've just finished a camel, Mikey?
Yeah.
The same kit's calling out to me again because I found another Edward boxing with a scheme that I would like to do, but
Oh,
Ooh.
ooh,
I'm still trying to find my freaking breaker.
it's just a regular sop with camel, but it's got Wonga Bonga written on the side of it.
Ooh.
Wonga Bonga. Wonga was a nickname for the Gotha bombers because of the wah of the engines. Wah. And
Yeah.
Bonga is in whacker, smasher.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Cool.
Today.
We'll go on to Gary as he unboxes.
inside
And we'll go
we
through
have
the a box within a box.
What's going to
Excellent.
happen? It's going to be one of Dale's things where I'm going to be opening more and more and more boxes, and eventually there'll be a 1/72 scale Spitfire in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Not that he would do that sort of, obviously.
Whilst you're doing that, we'll catch up with the comments.
Mm-hmm.
If Modmin's awake.
I'm
There
still
you
here. I'm just waiting for me to help the boil.
Jim says, "Good morning. I beg your pardon for being late. I overslept." Well, damn you. How dare you? How dare you not get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch our live? Duke says, "I just got a 3D printer yesterday. Still getting my head around all of it. I hear they're quite complicated, but fun. Imagine the sense of pride you're going to have when you print your first model off for yourself. If you, Duke, if you, ooh, nice. I wondered what that music was.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
As the fanfare from Also Sprach Zarathustra by Richard Strauss fades into the distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go.
Duke, if you message or if you write a comment on my Facebook page and tag or whatever, just write a post on my Facebook page. I will tag not Posh Gary in it, and he can tell you different places you can find loads of free STL files for them and things like that. Your 3D printer. He's ended up building up 102 gigabytes of STL files.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, of all different stuff he's made. Or all different stuff he's downloaded to make. Steve says, "Shame on you, Jim. Go sit in the corner." Jim says, "Steve, ha! The headmaster shall want a word with me." And Steve says, "Channel ban for music incoming." Well, yeah, probably. Or at least a copyright strike. But it doesn't matter because I don't too much because I don't get paid on these anyway.
I've also got to work out which version I was playing just now because Mikey didn't know about that. It was just me.
Yeah.
So ban me, which tastes delicious, by the way. It's a Vietnamese roll.
Very good. Yeah, I don't get paid for YouTube, so if the copyright strike me, it doesn't make much of a difference. It's not like I'm losing any money from it. I just rather it didn't happen. So I don't have to get rid of any videos off my channel if I ever do get to a point where they monetize it. And Duke says, thanks, Mikey. You're welcome, mate. Not a problem. It will be non-posh Gary probably won't see it till next week because he's got family around this weekend. So he's focusing on that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice for him. I'm still amazed that his parents are still around.
Oh yeah. Well, he's
He's
not
old.
as old as you keep telling us. Although
He is. He's ancient, man. He's ancient.
Yeah.
He admits himself that he was the air traffic controller when Pontius was still a pilot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. I can't find my damn spray gun. What the hell have I done with it? I can't spray without a spray gun. How the hell do you lose a box with a spray gun in it? Oh, I do have one version of the omnibus.
Oh, which one?
I shall show you now. I have that one.
Oh, it's a corgi one.
Yes, I have a corgi one. There you go. I have a very small collection of little corgis, models like that.
Hmm.
So I've got that. I think I've got I've got a horse and cart one, and I've got the I think it's Valerio plane as well. I really like the corgi models. Jim says, mind yourself, Mikey. I too am on the verge of joining the 60-year-old club. I doubt I'll ever make that age.
Yeah, but that's what Mick Jagger said, but look at him now.
Yeah, but he said that back in the 1800s.
36, 35.
He's about the same age as my granddad, isn't
Mick Jagger?
he? Yeah, he's in his 80s, isn't he, or something?
I don't know.
Right.
Well, this is really annoying.
Look, the stream.
No, that I can't find my bloody spray gun. I spend all week avoiding doing any spraying because I couldn't be bothered getting my spray booth out. And now I actually get my spray booth out, I can't find the damn spray gun. Might just have to wait till Sunday till my new one turns up.
Life is like that.
YouTube. Found it. It was underneath some photographs in the drawer. Duke says, actually, Jim says, I'll be celebrating my birthday by cycling 60 miles. You're insane.
That's celebrating. Okay.
Yeah, if I was to do that, I would end up in Blackpool, probably.
Is that a hospital?
Yeah. That's where I think I end up. I'd actually be in the local hospital comatose.
A&E.
Yeah. Duke says, I'm already in the 60 club. Both my parents are still going. They're both 83.
Wow.
Yeah, my grandparents are 84. Yeah, because they were born in 1940. My other ones have died, like my maternal grandparents. Jim says, Mr. Marley, I'll take my Bergpanzer with cheese, please.
That sounds delicious.
It does, doesn't it? So, let's see. 11:44.
Already?
Is there any topics you guys would like to talk about before we open the panel up in a quarter of an hour?
I'm
nothing
going to
special.
step away for a sec and find something. I've got a bit of a show and tell, so I'll wait a bit
Okay.
long.
Okay.
Oh no. Apparently, I haven't cleaned my spray gun well enough last time.
Oh,
Yes, the needle got stuck.
right. What did you have to cut through that? Jesus. Huh. Okay, I think they've learnt some lessons from the previous kit.
Yeah.
In that there's bits of the engine assembly where they have to pass. I'm guessing it's some kind of oil pipe or something like that, and it now says to actually cut the part.
Yeah.
So you can pull the part apart and put it back together again to feed this pipe through. So obviously, people have said, "Guys, you can't do that."
Yeah.
I can't remember that being a problem, but then I probably didn't do it correctly. But it's interesting. There's a couple of little bits and pieces where you think, yeah, you learned from that, didn't you? You learned that last time.
That's probably why they sent it you to review, to show that they've learnt lessons.
I think just to rewrite the instructions, basically. They haven't changed the kit to make it easier, but obviously I haven't retooled that part of the kit. But to put it in the instructions seems quite. It's actually say cut this part at this point. Just like, shouldn't really have to cut a part to make it fit, mate. You should
you should be able to jig it around.
It is a gorgeous design, obviously, but it seems a bit strange you have to do that.
Question from Jim. Says, Posh Gary, will you have room to store the finished 124 scale Spitfire?
I'll be purchasing another very large box, just like the one that currently holds the pink Spitfire.
Ooh.
It is just in a very, very large box supported by bits of polystyrene. Because
I don't think I've ever seen your pink Spitfire.
Oh, it's delicious.
If you can give me 10 minutes, I'll. It's in a pile of. I'll put the paint away so I don't.
Yeah, it's all right.
Mess up.
You don't have to get it out.
That's what she said.
Hey,
you're learning.
If you can zoom in on my quadrant, Modmin, for a moment, this is a mini art story. So I'm doing the floor of the Bergpanzer.
And again.
Mikey!
There we go.
There you go.
So here, this is the gearbox. Once it goes in, there's a drive clutch on each side, blah, blah, blah. So this is a gearbox. And there is a A42. Looks like probably a filler cap for oil on top there. This is how big it is, or how small I should say. A42. That's it there. My finger's behind it. Hang on. There's a pointing device.
Yes. What?
That's it there.
Is there any point to that piece?
That's that thing at the end of that. I'm going to get that off and stick it on. But, isn't that hilarious?
Thing is, are you ever going to see it?
No, because the whole gearbox is that big.
So I wouldn't worry about it.
So look, while I'm here, here's my show and tell. So my mum, she's a member of the Geelong football supporters and has been for many years. One of her friends who goes to games that I used to, her brother recently died, unfortunately, but he collected. I've never had any die-cast things before, but I was gifted by my parents paid for them 3 little die-cast planes of Australian Air Force stuff. Now, what's interesting about them is I've never pulled them out of boxes before. I'm surprised how heavy they are. So this is obviously the C-130J. Well, it's a C-130J Hercules. But so this is the aircraft, or one of the aircraft I used to work on. So I'm delighted to have a little one of those. And it's pretty cool because you can open the ramp and door, and the crew entrance door opens as well, and that's pretty cool. It's and it's I can't fault it looking at all the antenna and all that sort of stuff. That's pretty cool. And I've also been gifted 2 other ones that I haven't worked on, but this is one that the RAF has purchased, as well as the J models, which you've just retired. So let's see if Mikey can name this one, or Gary.
Oh, that's a Poseidon.
Correct. So this is our 11 squadron. Is a seagull, which is yeah, but they're pretty cool. Like yeah. So all the I haven't flown on one of these, but I have been through one, and they are extraordinarily good compared to an Orion. So yeah, that's a very nice thing to have.
Beautiful.
And the other one is even bigger. It'll be harder naming this one though, I think, because I don't believe you have them over there. So opening the box.
No need to show off, Jesus.
Well, as I said,
I know we're stressed over here for money, but you know, bleeding rich Australians.
So this one, I don't even know if these are the same scale. 1 to 200.
Buy our aeroplanes
and our submarines.
Oh, they are all the same scale. So this one, it's a larger aircraft. So that one there. You probably wouldn't be able to name it though.
Okay, well, hang on. Wait. Let's have a look at the front end. That looks like we call them a Voyager, the A330 multi-role tanker transport.
Yeah, actually, spot on. Yeah. So this is 33 Squadron Australian Air Force. And
we do have some of those.
I haven't worked on them, but I have flown on it, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's an A330 MRTT multi-role tanker transport.
Cool. What I love about those things is that they can fill up the tanks to be a full air-to-air refueler, and still take a cargo of people and their kit. It holds an amazing weight of stuff.
Yeah. Do you know the big difference between what they would call a Boeing BBJ and a, say, 737 is? Just for shits and gigs.
No.
So 33. Well, sorry, the Poseidon is based on a 737, right? But it's not. It's based on a BBJ.
Oh, okay.
So the difference between a BBJ and a 737 is, apart from different contours for wingtips and blah 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 blah. So a 737 has an empty wing box. So loading cargo in, the whole underfloor is cargo space for passengers, baggage, and everything else. Whereas a Boeing business jet has more range and everything else because all that space under there is a fuel tank. So it has more range. So these things have a lot more range than a standard 737, which is why they're good at maritime. Well, they're not really. They are. They're extraordinary. But a 737, like I've been on Orions at 100 feet doing a ridiculous amount of knots past ships and stuff. And I don't think these aircraft will get down there. But they don't need to because all the optics are so much better now. But there you go. So I've been gifted things that I'd never asked for or wanted, but they're really nice. Like you can see the navigation lights on top there. They're actually sort of plastic, clear plastic and stuff. I'm delighted with them.
Well made. Yeah, they look really well made.
Long rail HF antennas and I'm quite impressed. That poor bugger had to die though. But I'm delighted that they thought of me, or she thought of me, because Mum was saying, "Oh, my son works on Hercules and stuff." So isn't that nice?
Excellent. That's really cool.
Very good, John.
I have no idea what to do with them. I think I'll keep the Herc, but I might give the other two to people who worked on the other ones. I haven't decided.
Right, Mikey, you'd never seen my pink Spitfire.
I haven't.
Here's my pink Spitfire.
Oh, wow. Enlarge, please, Mudmin.
Well, it's already 1 to 24 scale.
There you go.
That's very nice.
Beautiful.
So the big difference is I got the window here, the window flap opened, put a glass in it, and put a camera on the inside. Had to move the radio forward because that's where the radio should be normally.
Yeah.
So I had to build another frame here for it to go on, to sit on. And you can't see it in the cockpit. I put a tiny little camera controller as well. Otherwise, they were pretty much identical to the Mark 9 because they were fully armed. The FR9 was fully armed, so it's got all of the guns.
The engine detail on it.
Yeah, this Merlin that they've modelled is just gorgeous. Frankly, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it's one of these pipes here, coming down here. It goes through a bracket there, the one with the holes in that one. That bracket's the bit they say cut that to feed the pipe through. So on the new instructions, not on the originals.
Yeah.
I was really happy with that. Really happy with building that.
Jim says, Posh Gary, my compliments to you and Nick for a great show yesterday. Once again, Nick came up with a real brain twister.
Oh,
he did.
Okay,
he did.
I'm gonna have to watch it back. Don't spoil it for me.
Don't spoil it. Nobody say it.
No,
Steve says, "Oh, sorry."
And he's really upset. So he's going to make it even more difficult next time, apparently.
I reckon he's going to do a fantasy one or something like a Warhammer or something. Just to wind up all the plane nerds on there.
Yeah.
Steve says, "Welcome to Mini Art Hell, John. Population, you and me."
No, I'm enjoying it so far. It is like crazy. What their
challenge is
expectations? Yeah, but you know, I could be building an ICM Spitfire, and that's more hellish than this so far.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know, Mikey?
Yes.
You're not particularly good at YouTube because we've been live for about an hour now, and no one has mentioned like and subscribe.
I know, right?
Gee, I just blew it. Oh.
Jim said, "Did a former Edward kit designer or engineer take a job with Mini Arts?" Yeah. Make sure you do go and like and subscribe to Gary's stuff.
It's a great channel. It really is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it.
It's a far more polished than my channel.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, you're doing it professionally, so it has to be polished.
Yeah, it kind of should be.
Mine, I can just do what I want when I want.
Fairly important. It looks good for the people who are watching.
Yeah,
for the punters.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to polish mine as much as possible, but it's mostly just do what I want when I feel like it.
Well, every day I think, well, I just need to sit down because I've got a pile of stuff beside my desk here that I need to, like, I've got instructions for different ships I've built and just sort of show that. Just I need to load some content. I've been very slack. So the last couple of builds, I haven't done anything for the Calibri, the Chipmunk, the Camel, or the Flying Fortress. And I really should, that's for Facebook or YouTube, and I should really just do that.
Yeah.
And also, if you're on Facebook, both me, Gary, and John all have Facebook pages for our channels as well.
Yes.
So if you're on Facebook, make sure you go and subscribe to them, or whatever it is.
Check them out.
Follow them. And engage with the content, because if you don't engage with it, then we don't know what you want to see more of.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Yeah, admittedly, so far I haven't been there for a couple of weeks, but I am probably more active on Facebook because it's been going longer. But I will get more YouTube content up. I know exactly what I want to do. But watching I don't know if you do this, Gary, but if you watch back things you've uploaded, no, because you edit them. That's a difference. So I watch stuff that I've done and said and stuff, and just thinking, I really shouldn't have mentioned that. But then I can't be bothered doing another 50-minute bloody spiel just to get rid of a line or something or other.
Yeah.
So, also, John, be careful about watching back your own stuff too much because they flag it up as suspicious activity.
Do they?
Yeah. Because they think you're trying to boost your own ratings.
Oh God, no! I'm just trying to self-critique.
Once or twice, it's fine, but if you do it too often, then they think you're trying to boost your own figures.
Well, I don't know. Maybe half of the 1,600 views are mine. I don't know.
Hang on, what did I say?
That's what. Have you ever read the transcripts, Gary, from live streams and videos and stuff?
No.
The transcripts are really funny because they're not particularly accurate.
Uh-huh.
So
That doesn't
they quote some
surprise
quite strange things.
me.
I'm thinking of when we do a quiz episode one Monday, I'm thinking of including some of who said this sort of thing.
Yeah. And what did they actually mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that one.
I think we should do that on a Monday. A quiz. I don't know.
Maybe once a month on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, should we do it on a Monday or on a Friday if me and Stefan on?
Totally up to you. It's your channel, mate.
Yeah, but you spend just as much time on it as I do, John.
No, I know. You keep on inviting me back, and I'm just like, yeah, too much of an
And
idiot
Modmin,
to decline.
Modmin.
And Modmin, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Modmin that helped me to decide to do this style of live today?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think once a month we might do a quiz session.
You know, I never went back and saw that quiz session, so
Well, yeah,
I've been slack. Quite slack. Oh dear.
you should watch it. It was quite funny, especially when they had to do the drawings and things. One of the topics, Gary, was your channel for the drawings.
Oh dear God!
And I was expecting them to draw like a beard with a comb over and glasses, and a model or something like that.
A comb over. A comb over. How very dare you?
You know, I got stuck watching kayaking at the Olympics last night. Now, I've never taken an interest in kayaking either for realsies or on television before, but I was totally intrigued. Here I was yelling at the TV, "Oh, come on!" and stuff. I didn't watch any of the previous Olympics, but I'm enjoying this one. I particularly enjoyed the fact that there was no near naked blue person in the water, but yeah.
No.
We are past the hour mark.
Excellent.
To put the link in.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who it was that got the Gary stuff for the drawing.
Sorry?
When we were doing the drawing.
Oh.
I'm looking through the pictures now. I think it might have been Jim. I know your Kit Bash one came out quite funny, Modmin.
Yes. Indeed it did.
Oh, it might have been Sonic, actually, because he drew a computer with a face on it.
Crikey.
Yeah. Mr. Morris got a budget modeler to draw, and he drew a snowman with arms and legs and some money next to it. It's like two little balls with arms and legs and pile of money next to it. It made sense, like. Well, not the shaped like a ball thing, but a person. You can see what he's trying to get at. A person with money, budget modeler. Well, not with money, but save money. Tiff has put up the StreamYard link. If you would like to join in, you're more than welcome. James says, someone say kayaking. Laugh out loud. Freestyle is best, but not in the Olympics yet. Yeah, James likes kayaking. He's a very outdoor person.
I didn't until yesterday, but you know,
I think
now I'm an expert.
This is the first Olympics where the water sports people are more concerned about drinking the water than drowning in it.
Well, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people complaining about the quality of the water, but they're people who live in New York, and I just don't understand.
Yeah, but they don't go swimming in the damn thing, do they?
No, but
they can help it. I'm gonna do some spraying, so you should probably hear my spray booth.
But to be legitimately upset about the water quality right now, not only would you have to be in France, you'd also have to be an Olympian. So most of us really have got nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
And then they're not complaining; they're just happy as pigs in shit, really.
Well, literally.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah, we've gone past the hour, so Tiff's put up the StreamYard link. If anyone wants to come on, you are more than welcome. James, if you want to come and just chat, you don't have to go on camera. You're more than welcome to. I know you're working at the minute. But yeah, you can have a natter if you want. Jim, more than welcome to come up. Just try and leave space for other people to talk. We love you, obviously. Yeah. If Steve or Duke wants to come up, more welcome. You don't have to switch your camera on, as long as we know who you are. Go on, Tiff, let him up. Hello.
Hey.
Good morning,
Mr.
everyone.
American.
Hey, Jim.
Yes, yeah, I decided to change it up a little bit today, and
Put a shirt on.
well,
Not have his hairy chest out.
You know what? I need to have one with sleeves. That would probably help, but it tends to keep things cooler down in the apartment I'm at overnight because we turn off the AC overnight. So, good morning, everyone.
G'day. What is the time?
Good afternoon to the UK and good evening to Australia.
Yeah. What is the time in the Windy City, Jim?
It is 6:06 a.m.
Oh, crikey.
So yeah, I apologize. I overslept. I take pride in getting up with plenty of time to have my coffee ready and do my pre-morning, my early morning stretching exercises to wake up my creaky body. And well, anyway, I'm here, and I thank you for allowing me in once again to your humble abode, Mikey.
Good to see you, Jim.
Thank you. Good to see you guys. Good to see everyone. Tiffany, Gary, Posh Gary. I mean, I better get my name right.
Yeah, I'm going to live that one down soon.
Hey, who came up with that?
I want now. Just imagine who it might have been. Just let your imagination run wild, and who might have come up with something like that.
I'll take a stab at it. I'll say Gary Morris.
No. Oh no. No, the culprit is very much in the room.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, then now I know. Okay.
There you go.
Will the culprit stand up, please?
It's fine. It's fine. As I always say, if you can't take a joke, you shouldn't have signed it.
I agree. Totally. Yes. So water sports are part of the Olympics? Is that what the conversation was just on a moment ago?
Well, I'm not surprised that they're part of the Olympics. They're more sort of Olympian than some of the things that have probably been played in the Olympics lately. But here's the thing. I used to think the Olympics were the world's biggest sporting event, and they're clearly not. I think the what Jim and I would call the Soccer World Cup, football, would be, because more people are interested in that. The other thing I think, and Duke is, it's going to be controversial. I'm going to say something to upset Duke again. Australians reckon they're sports mad. My view is Australians are no different from anywhere else on the planet. Everybody likes watching sport because it makes them forget about the problems in their life and stuff. It's just entertainment.
Yeah.
I think I'm the exception to that.
Yeah?
Sports.
27.
Yeah, well, I get your point, John. And I was going to say, you mentioned something about kayaking, and are they now in Paris? I don't know of any lakes around Paris. They're not using the Seine River as its
no, this is fast flowing.
Okay.
This is whitewater stuff, and the Seine isn't doing that.
All right. Oh yeah, kayaking. You're right. Yeah. That's a very popular. Not so much an organized sport, but a lot of people do it here in the States because there's plenty of places to travel to across the country. You can do whitewater rafting and kayaking and stuff. So, yeah. You won't catch me doing that, but
No,
it is,
not on a
it is
bike.
there. No, not on a bike, not in a kayak either. So I was going to say that if they ever hold the Olympics in New York City, I would not suggest they do kayaking in the East River. That would be very unhealthy.
It's because there's a 737 in the way.
Well, not only that, but that's New York City's sewerway.
Oh.
And you might find Jimmy Hoffa down there eventually, or what?
Yeah. Attached to a lump of concrete.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, supposedly back in the 90s, someone had thought that his remains might have been in Jersey, just across the Hudson River. In the Meadowlands, where a football stadium is. And some very cynical, dry-humored New York football fans at one game put a big sign along the wall, along the sideline, said, "Hoffa, dig here," with an arrow pointing down. Got to give it to New Yorkers.
They found one of our kings in a car park.
Yeah.
Very true.
Pardon me, Tiffany, what'd you say?
Richard III.
They found one of our kings in a car park.
Oh, really?
Yeah, buried under a car park.
The documentary on it. The documentary on it, Jim, is on YouTube.
Okay.
If you just type in "the king found in a car park" or something.
Okay. I will look it up. Thank you.
Richard III.
Yes.
A horse, a park. My kingdom for a park.
Yeah.
The very same one.
Yes.
And the strange thing was the parking space he was found under actually had R on it.
Yeah.
Reserved. Nobody'd realised.
I thought it would be a 3. I thought it would be R3. You know.
No.
Yeah. You think.
R for reserved.
And
now,
they found.
Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Matthew Flinders. They dug him up recently and I think reburied him.
All right.
After you're probably not sure who Matthew Flinders is, Jim. He's the first guy to map Australia, and he named Australia. In fact, he suggested New Holland should be called or Terra Australis, as in Great Southern Land, and they adopted it. Yep. So he was the first guy to. Well, he went anti-clockwise around Australia, and Baudin, Frenchman, went around the other way, and they met at what's now called Encounter Bay, and spoke to each other and stuff. And Baudin was never seen again after that.
No,
he was chucked in the bay.
Too bad.
His men did not like him. It's all well documented. Like he was probably killed by his crew.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, if you look at places like like New Guinea and the Bismarck Archipelago and the Solomon Islands, you'll see a mixture of British, German, and French names throughout.
Yes.
In fact, I think it's called the British Solomon Sea. Is the body of water to the west of the island group, if I'm not mistaken, because that's where my introduction to World War II history came into play, was the Pacific. I first started reading about that when I was 10, 12 years old, getting books in the library, and one of the first big campaigns I read about was Guadalcanal. So I was I'm very well, not very well versed in the war, but I know a lot about it. And as history reveals itself, I'm learning a lot of stuff all over again, because some of the stuff we grew up reading has been proven to not be true. Mm-hmm. So, but that's typical of history. It reveals itself slowly.
It does.
Duke said they should try swimming in the Yarra. Ha ha ha.
Not wrong.
What is the Yarra?
The Yarra is the river that flows, let's say through the middle of Melbourne, or what you would call Melbourne, in Victoria, down in the south of Australia.
Is there? Go ahead.
Well, it's all the tea trees along it. The tannins in the river make it look inverted. So it's said to be upside down. All the mud is on top and all the water at the bottom.
There's a river in the north of England, though. It looks like a stream because it's not very wide. But if you go in it, you will never be seen again, because it's actually, the river actually turns on its side. So even though it looks slow and only narrow, it's actually incredibly fast current, and all the land is undercut by it because the whole river is on its side. So as soon as you step in it, you just get swept away, and it gets swept under into all the caves, and you're never seen again.
So one of the things that fascinated me, many things fascinated me about the UK, but one of the things that I found absolutely gobsmacking and that I wasn't prepared for was how fast your rivers flow over there. Australia's used to meandering rivers, like just very slow moving if there's water in them at all. Obviously with the mountains up in Scotland and everything else, like the water just barrels down them.
Yeah,
and it's just stunning.
Steve says waiting for an Amazon delivery today, but the sods keep changing the estimated delivery time. Yeah, typical.
Yeah, that's normal.
They cancelled my order the other day because the company that was selling it hadn't shipped it in time.
Huh.
So literally the day after it was due, they cancelled it.
PD4.
James says Nottingham isn't great for it, where the UK white water centre is. Occasionally you see bloated rats floating past mid-competition. I didn't realise you.
That sounds like parts of the Chicago River.
I didn't realise you were in Nottingham, James.
I've asked you this before, Jim. Have you always lived in Chicago? I did ask you this once, but can't remember.
Yes, I was. Let's see. I was born and raised on the northwest side of Chicago. Chicago is a city of neighborhoods, so I grew up in a neighborhood called North Mayfair, and nothing special about that. Just saying it. And I moved out to where I live now, which is about 45 miles southwest of Chicago, in a sleepy little town, which is rapidly getting bigger and louder, much to my dismay. Back in 2019, I'm renting the basement apartment of my best friend's home. He and I grew up on the same block in Chicago. I've known him since I was 5.
Wow.
So yeah. And yes, I mean, for instance, being in Chicago, the city's laid out. Daniel Burnham, the man who designed the layout of the city, used the Roman grid pattern of a 0, north, east, west, and south. So you have a street intersection of State Street and Madison Street, and that is the 0 point in the map of the city of Chicago, and everything branches out from there. And so you have a north side, south side, west side, east side, southeast side, northwest side, blah, 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 ad nauseum. And with Chicago, it's a very sports town, especially professional sports. And you are either north side, Chicago Cubs, or south side, Chicago White Sox.
Okay.
Duke says, have you seen the rivers in New Zealand, guys? It's an amazing blue.
Oh, yeah, I have. I've been in New Zealand once. That's where my back first went, and I was in a lot of pain. But it's a beautiful, beautiful place.
James says he's not from Nottingham, but he travels to go over to cover the competitions. Main whitewater freestyle competition spots are Cardiff and Nottingham. There's also one down near London. Ooh, I wouldn't like to go kayaking around Cardiff. You turn radioactive.
What's out there, Mikey?
Well, they were trying to use it for was it nuclear or toxic waste?
Oh, jeez. We got enough of that in Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Really? I mean,
yeah.
Was it allowed to go through, or was it stopped?
I can't remember. I know the current Welsh First Minister, who is stepped down, but he's still in office somehow, even though he's been told to leave.
Sounds like an American.
Yeah. When he was in charge, he was the Minister for the Welsh Environment. He accepted something like a £20,000 or £200,000 donation to his campaign from a guy who wanted to dump toxic waste
Oh
on a
God.
protected site.
Oh Lord. Sounds like America.
Yeah, and strangely enough, after he received the donation, the guy got his permits.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, oh boy, amazing how that works, huh? Yeah. Well, I would say this: in America, they would Congress would say no, it's not going to happen, and they do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve says, if they did kayaking here in Blackpool, they'd come out brown as the sea is full of all the sewage dumping. I went fishing on Landed No Beach a couple of years ago with a few veterans, and I managed to get a lovely big flounder. And they said, "Oh, you're going to keep it?" I'm like, "No, I chuck it back in. I don't like killing stuff." And next minute, my mate reeled it in. And he killed it and took it home for tea. And I said to him, "You really want to eat a fish caught that close to shore in the UK?" Bear in mind, the reason we fished there was because it's by an outlet pipe, because that's where a lot of the fish hide.
Oh God! Oh my Lord! Okay, yeah, I don't think I'll be. Just unhook it and let it go. I'm surprised it wasn't like the Simpsons fish. If anyone watches that, really,
Yeah.
Blinky.
Blinky. Yeah. James says, the Cardiff course is quite nice. The water is pumped in from the bay, but it goes through filters to remove the chunky stuff. It flows straight in from the river. Have you ever been to Llangollen, James, to photograph the kayaking there? Because when the river's in full flow, they do a lot of kayaking there because there's a lot of white water, and you can literally sit on the pub balcony, and the pub balcony overhangs the water.
Okay.
It's a pub called the Corn Mill. They do a nice pint there, and you can sit on the balcony and watch them all going past.
That sounds like a nice place to sit and have a pint. Yeah.
If you have a look for the Llangollen River on Google,
yes,
there's some really nice pictures of it, and you can actually see where they do the kayaking, where the rapids are. You can actually see the Corn Mill pub on the other side. When the water's too high, the balcony actually goes underwater. Pretty much.
Wow, boy. I'm guessing it's not very high. It's not made very high above the actual surface of the water.
No.
Okay.
Well, it's a couple of foot above it.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Wow, that is close.
Yeah. So you can actually watch everyone go through. But when the water's low, you can walk across the rocks. It's weird. The water height changes that much.
Yeah. Well, I live near a body of water called the Fox River, which is a very long and in some areas fast-flowing river, and in other areas it's very shallow and slow going. But it can go up and down in depth, and it is crested sometimes where it has blocked roads. It hasn't happened since I've been out here, but it has had a reputation of doing that in the past. With weather patterns changing, that's not quite the case anymore. And they've also improved a lot of the drainage systems because of the problems it did cause.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
John, I was going to say, if they ever host the Olympics again out in Australia and they do water sports, can they have something like dodging saltwater crocs or something?
Yeah, well, that's funny you should say that, because the Olympics will be in Brisbane in, I think, 2 games' time. I think LA is coming up. And
I think LA is
Brisbane.
2028.
So Brisbane, there's not too many things that'll kill you there, but there's enough.
Yeah. Now, are saltwater crocs indigenous to the entire east coast of Australia, or are they just up north in Queensland?
It's in the tropics, generally above the Tropic of Capricorn.
Okay.
Yeah, all the way around the top end.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's a good one for you to try and pronounce, Jim.
Okay.
See if you can read that last comment out.
You want me to do it? Sure.
Yeah, see if you can pronounce the Welsh words in it.
All right.
It's up on the screen, so don't worry.
I got it on my phone too. So, I've not photographed there, but have kayaked there. Also did my kayak/canoe instructor course up in North Wales in Llyn Pardon around the Menai Strait. How'd I do?
Close. It's Llyn Padan, and it's Menai Strait.
Menai Strait. Okay, Menai Strait. And what's the first one?
Llyn.
Wait a minute. Say it again.
Llyn Padan.
Llyn.
Llyn.
It sounds like you're saying Flynn.
So you press the front of your tongue into the roof of your mouth at the front, and then you sort of you exhale the air over your tongue. So it's Llyn.
Flynn.
Yeah.
Almost sounds Yiddish.
Clear nostrils.
Llyn. Llyn.
Yeah, Llyn Padan.
Wow.
It's like
that would take some practice. That would take some practice. Now, if I was to say it the way I said it, and I'm just talking to you on the road, and I'm in Wales, and I'm like, "Pardon me, sir, I'm trying to find Llyn Pardon. Can you help me?" Would you know what I'm talking about?
The thing is, in Wales, we're used to people doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah. All right.
So we don't.
Well, I
try not
definitely
to
reveal myself as an out-of-towner immediately.
Whoop, too late.
Jim, just by saying "Pardon me, sir," they're just going to say you are far too polite to be anything English.
But I thought the British and everyone in the UK were gifted had a gift for understatement and fairness and politeness.
No, that's
just quickly going out the window lately.
Well, I'll say this then: you might fit in very well in cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia, and Chicago. Hey, Bud, I'm trying to find a place. Help me out.
James says we trained at the Adventure Training Wing at Indefatigable next to Llanfair Watson called it. In Welsh, we call it Llanfair PG. No, that's completely wrong.
Oh, shut up!
It's
I had
just
a go.
Llanfair PG.
Well, I gotta say this, John. Those indigenous cities you named off, like you were doing your ABCs last week, where I don't think I could ever get that if I tried for the rest of my life.
Oh, you'll be fine. It's not so bad. Oh, I was thinking about my comments here. Like, there are very few Aboriginal words that we use in conversation. Mainly, as I pointed out, that there are so many Aboriginal languages. Last count, I think there's 1,200. So words aren't well. They didn't travel well. Was it actually here? Was it here on this thing the other day? I was talking about kangaroos, or was that just on Discord?
I don't recall it, so it might have been on Discord.
So it's a quick story, so I'll bring it up again. So, for instance, when Captain Cook and the Endeavour first found Australia, as the first Europeans and all that sort of stuff like that, they pulled into Botany Bay and all that sort of stuff, and then after a couple of after a week or two, they started trucking north up the east coast. Now, they had never spoken to Aboriginals. The language didn't sort of, they didn't have that much time and all that sort of stuff. The first Aboriginals they saw, it seems they shot above their heads and stuff like that. So they were they were making themselves scarce. Go forward probably a month or so, maybe two. The Endeavour ran aground at the Great, the Great Dividing. What's bloody called? Not Great Dividing Reef. Great Barrier Reef. The Barrier Reef. So the ship had to be put. Oh no, I couldn't bloody remember. So they had to repair the Endeavour to make it back to the UK and all that sort of stuff. So while they did that, then they asked the locals, "Hey, that bouncing thing, that animal, what's that called?" And they said, "Oh, kangaroo. That's a kangaroo, mate." Nah, with an Aussie drawl, said, "No, mate, it's kangaroo." So go forward a couple of I don't know, 12 years or whatever it was, when the first fleet came down and settled Australia in 1788. the English people are saying to the locals around Sydney Harbour, "Oh, yeah, it's kangaroo. It's good. Yeah, that's it, kangaroo. Yeah, hey, g'day." And they're just looking at him, just going, "Whoa, what? That's not a kangaroo. That they called a patangarang." So the words did not translate so well from one place to another, and there are just so many languages that Australia's so large that none of the the words really didn't travel that far. But a galah is a galah and all that sort of stuff. We've got very few names that were adopted and adapted.
So for Jim, the full name of that place we call Llanfair PG is Llanfair plus Gwengwich Gorgerich Rhondda Llantysilio Goch.
Okay.
And it means St. Mary's Church in the hollow of the White Hazel near the rapid whirlpool of Llantysilio of the Red Cave.
And that's what you said it is first time is in Welsh?
Yeah.
Okay.
James says they used to call it Llanfair Piggy Wiggle. Columbus says, Mikey, when I was staying with family in Fishguard, I like Fishguard, Wales, I was watching TV and an advert came on in Welsh. Cue me thinking I'd actually accidentally changed the language with the remote. There you go. That's what it looks like written down, Jim.
I'm sorry, what did you just say, Mike?
That's what it looks like written down, that word. It's the longest word in the Welsh language.
Oh, jeez.
Or in the world, I think. Llanfair.
Holy moly.
Television.
Been there, got the shitty Baghdad.
It's in Anglesey. So it's about an hour's drive from me, hour and a half drive from me.
I'd say about an hour to pronounce it.
Yeah, Fishguard's a nice place. I rode down there on my motorbike. Me and my dad, we went down on our motorbikes to visit because my grandparents were on holiday down there. So we decided to go down there, and it was the best bike ride I've ever been on.
Really?
Because we were riding all through the Welsh mountains and everything to get down
Hear
there.
that, Jim?
Yeah.
He said the best bike ride he's ever been on. You're going to have to go over to Wales now.
Yeah. Go through the Black Mountains and stuff.
Yeah, I was with about 2-3 layers on.
Yeah, we went through Horseshoe Pass and all that sort of place. Really nice. It's just all valleys and mountains. It's gorgeous. But it's quite funny because it was raining, but because we're on the side of the mountain, the wind was coming down the mountain and the rain was coming up the mountain because it's hitting the side and coming up.
Oh, jeez, really?
So we were riding the bikes at about 45 degrees. And I remembered to put my waterproofs on, but my dad didn't bother. So we're there riding the motorbikes and we got our intercoms on and a helmet and we're talking. And my dad's ahead of me. And on the next minute, all I see is a wagon come round the other way. And it goes through a puddle and I just see this wave go over the top of my dad.
Oh,
and he just disappears under this wave. And all here on the intercom is, "You bastard."
Did he manage to stay upright?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, he had a 1600cc Triumph. That thing weren't going anywhere.
Oh, those sort of bikes.
Yeah.
My mistake.
So when we got to the bottom of the mountain, Dad said, we'll have to pull over in this garage. I need to get changed. And he got off the bike and he just walked over and he's like...
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
I was like, you should have worn your waterproofs, Dad. He's like, yeah, it was too bloody warm when we left the house. Duke says, you wouldn't want to swim in the Brisbane River. There's so many bull sharks that if you put them nose to tail along the Bruce Highway, they would all die because they need water to survive.
Yeah. Actually, you're right. I didn't forget about the bullshit.
James says, an Aberystwyth was Abby's wristwatch. Columbus says, Welsh is a language made by someone whose tongue was stapled to the roof of their mouth. Pretty much. Well, it does mean we find it easier to pronounce other languages as well. It makes it easier for us to pronounce Dutch and things because they use a lot of the same ways of pronouncing words.
Oh, really? The Dutch? Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
Dutch seems similar to German in some ways, but but still very different.
Yeah, that's why in Wales we have two different types of schools. So we have private and non-private as well. But we have what's called Welsh medium schools and English medium schools. So Welsh medium schools, the only time they speak English is when they're doing English class. The rest of the day, they speak Welsh.
Okay, well that's fine. I mean, I worked in a lot of places where I worked with people who spoke Spanish, and they grew up in a household where Spanish was a spoken word because they were firstborn to people who had immigrated to America, became citizens, and raised a family here. And their sons and daughters learned English in school with their schoolmates. So they had two languages, which are both widely spoken in the Chicagoland area.
Well, in the English medium schools, which is what I went to, you speak English all day and then you have Welsh lessons. But it's compulsory in Wales to learn Welsh up until the age of 16. So when you get up to doing your GCSEs, so 14 to 16 years old, you have a choice. You can either do short course Welsh and French or German, or French and German, or you can just do full course Welsh, which is where you do like 4 lessons of Welsh a week instead of 1. And I said, I don't like speaking Welsh. I have no use for it, so I will do French because I'm more likely to use it. So I did short course Welsh, and I actually really disliked learning it because I couldn't see a point in it.
Yeah.
And I said to my teacher one day, I don't want to be in this class anymore. I don't like the language. I don't want to speak the language. I have no use for the language. Let me go and do my own thing. I said, well, you have to learn it by law. So you've got to do Welsh lesson. I was like, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do the work. I'll tell you what. You write me a letter explaining why you don't want to do it, then I will let you off the lesson. I'll let you just go and potter around the school or sit and read a magazine or something. It's all right. But in order for it to be acceptable, you have to write it in Welsh because I don't like reading English. Okay. So I wrote this like A4 letter in Welsh about why I didn't want to do Welsh class. And she read it and then put an A on it. I was like, what are you doing? She went, well, you passed. That was your coursework. I'm considering that part of your coursework. It's like, oh, God damn it.
I didn't want to pass.
Yeah. I was like, damn.
Good story.
Here I am trying to be a rebel and you're making me conform.
Yes. But, you know, as I've grown older, I still don't have a use for Welsh, but I don't hate it anymore. I'm quite proud of the history behind it. And I do use it occasionally when I'm talking to my wife and when I'm talking to my nephews, because my nephews both go to, or one of my nephews goes to Welsh medium school. So he's 7 years old and he's fluent in both English and Welsh. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. I think that's important to be able to understand more than one language. I know here in America, it would definitely help out a lot. And that I haven't studied a foreign language is, well, it's really on me. I mean, you don't have to, but it certainly does help. And you want to improve your mind and keep it active. Learning a language is one of those they say helps fend off neurological diseases.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I've found that even though I've never really used it, I find that a lot of Welsh is still stuck in my head somewhere. Because I'll be driving along sometimes and I'll start getting frustrated with other drivers and I'll start having a go at them in Welsh.
Okay.
And Kaylin, my wife's like, why are you speaking Welsh? Because my wife's English. So she's like, why are you speaking Welsh? You know I don't speak Welsh. Horrible. Yeah.
Well, if you ever chose to speak that way in a live environment where the language was supposed to be carefully monitored, you would no doubt get away with it because I don't think many would understand what you're saying in any way, shape, or form outside of Wales, I mean.
Pencachen.
And that's not meant as a backhanded compliment. I meant that to be true, you know.
Well, the one use we did have for it as kids, me and my sister, was we'd go and visit family over in England, and none of our cousins that was obviously because they were English, they didn't go to Welsh school, so they couldn't understand the damn word we'd said if we spoke in Welsh. So if we wanted to have a private conversation, rather than go to one side or go into another room, we just speak Welsh to each other.
Yep. Yep.
And they used to accuse us. They used to run to me nan and accuse us of swearing for doing it. And,
but they got to prove it.
well, the thing is, because my nan's mum was Welsh, she came from Carnarvon, so she used to speak Welsh all the time as well. So even though my nan didn't speak Welsh, she recognised it. So she'd go to the door and listen to us, and then she'd go, "Oh no, they're just speaking their language. Leave them alone."
Yeah.
James says, my French teacher realised I wasn't going to get a passing grade and used to let me sit quietly in the back of the class doing my computing coursework.
May we?
I had a French teacher who I really didn't get on with. She was actually proper French, but because she was first language French, I would deliberately wind her up because I knew that if I wound her up, she would resort back to French, and then I would have an excuse for not listening to her. So she'd start ranting and shouting at me and screaming at me in French, and I'd just look at her and just go, I just go, "Je ne comprends pas." And she'd go, "Damn, you've done it again! Get out of my class!" And then the headmaster would come along the corridor and go, "What have you been out for?" So I was just winding her up and misbehaving. So we'd go into class and go, "What you kicked him out for?" She go, "Oh, he's being naughty and he's causing trouble and disturbing the class." He went, "Oh, I don't think Michael would do that. I've known Michael for a few years now. Let him back in the class."
So geez, that must have made her feel even better.
Yeah, I was actually not a very nice pupil, but my maths teacher, we were doing expanding brackets and things like that, and I had a habit of, because the way I do maths is I visualize what I'm trying to work out. I move the numbers around in my head. And because I do that, I'm not very good at writing the working out onto paper.
Yeah.
So what I was doing was I was doing all my working out in my book, because obviously doing it in my head, then writing it in the book. And the answers I was getting on my exercise book should have given me completely the wrong answer, but I was still coming up with the right answer. Because I could get the answers, but I couldn't write down how I worked it out.
Yeah, yeah. So well, you can do numbers in your head, I assume, then, Mikey. Is that something that comes easy to you?
Yeah, the way I work is I visualize them.
Oh.
So when I'm doing maths, if you ever see me on Discord, John, if I have to do some maths, you'll see me just looking up, doing that, moving numbers with my finger.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. I'm visualizing the numbers.
Yeah, I've got to do everything on paper when it comes to mathematics. I'm extremely poor at it. That's why I embraced the metric system when they taught it to us back in the late 70s. Simple. It's by tens.
It's a thing called, I think, what's it called? Hyperphantasia or something like that, where you find it very easy to visualize things. So it's like when I'm doing my dioramas and stuff, I can visualize how the structures will look and how I break them down in my head.
Right.
How I need to make it and things like that. And I can actually see it in front of me.
Yeah. Well, that I kind of follow you on, because as you were saying that, I was thinking about what I was working on yesterday, fixing my tank that had a broken suspension arm. I actually wound up effecting a repair. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good considering what I started with. Anyway, I thought about this and I kept thinking about different ways to do it, and they came from here.
Yeah.
And then I thought about how it was going to actually work on the vehicle, and each one I kept scratching off the list saying, nope, that's not going to work. And finally I hit on one that did work, and about 30 minutes later, there it is.
Yeah.
But as far as the numbers, no. I know a friend of mine who can do everything in his head number-wise, percentages, long division, everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that was the problem I had. So it ended up with my maths teacher getting fed up with trying to get me to write down the correct working out. So in the end, she said, right, whenever we do brackets now, I'm not going to bother teaching you, because you obviously know how to work it out. You just can't figure out. You just can't write it down. So I know you can get the answers.
Well, we used to.
So you can just sit and read a magazine. I was like,
you would have in our schools, you would have been failed anyway because you have to show the work.
Yeah. But it ended up I got a C in maths, and then I went on to engineering maths things.
Yeah.
Columbus Mall says in New Zealand during school we learned the Te Reo Maori language.
Yeah.
Purely so we understand how to pronounce it properly, because most places in New Zealand have a Maori name and other things around here. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that probably helps around there as well, because all the road signs are in English and then in Welsh as well.
Yeah, we. This is why, I mean, Maori in New Zealand, they all have the same language and pretty much, being Polynesian and all that sort of stuff. They are one people. The Aboriginal people are so diverse. Like, what applies to one mob, tribe, whatever you want to call them, may not be across the river, and they wouldn't.
Yeah.
They'd meet every couple of months, have a fight. Somebody would get injured, and they both all bugger off again. But that was like their wars and stuff like that. So they didn't really socialise out of their own tribes per se, apart from dragging women off by the hair. No, I can't say that, but that actually happened.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a new guest in the house. Steph's mate Steve is in Totally Scale Models.
Ah, hello, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
Hey, Steve. You right?
Saw the F-35 the other day.
Yeah. Columbus Mall says
CB2.
Some people try to learn it fluently. Duke says I can visualize everything except for mathematics. Interesting. Totally Scale Mall says, sorry, I wanted to pop in earlier, but had a work thing to sort out. Sigh. I'm here now, though. Hi.
Hey,
hello,
Steve. Glad you're here.
Well, you're very welcome to not my channel. So yeah, g'day.
Yeah, if you want to come up, Steve, I'm sure for the last 10 minutes, I'm sure Modmin can put the link up for you.
Yes.
Come and say hello to everyone.
And if I may take a moment, to Columbus Models, I'd like to say an apology to you, sir. I thought you were Australian. I didn't know you were from New Zealand. So.
Oh, I should have explained that. Yes,
No. I've been following Columbus Models on his YouTube channel because I saw his name pop up on Jason's live chat, Aussie Scale Modeler, one time, and I assumed he was another Aussie because it's like 90% Aussies that tune into that.
Yes.
So Totally Scale Modeler says he's not in the mood, so that's fair enough. No problems. Okay. If anyone else wants to come up for the last 10 minutes, you're more than welcome. We can go up. We can run a little bit over if needs be.
So, Mikey, how's your farm diorama coming along? Are you working on that right now?
Yes, I am spraying this bit, the walls. So I'm spraying it with chipping medium, and then I'm going to cover it with paint. Okay. And then chip it off so it looks like old paint.
Very good. Looks nice. I like. Oh, I meant to ask you. Did you look up that gas station I sent you the link to, wdcb.org? Is that enough for you to make a connection, or do you need a better link?
I didn't. I forgot.
Okay. Because I've sent that to other people across the United States, and I know they've been able to make a connection. Now, supposedly you can hook up to that anywhere around the world.
Yeah, should be able to. I'll have a look at it. I
was just curious to know. I mean, it's no pressure or anything. I was just curious to see if that was enough to make a connection.
Should be. Can't see why it wouldn't be. Ooh, we've got 10 people watching. Hello, 10 people. Well, 5 people on here.
Yeah, you're making it big time, Mikey.
Not as big as Gary. Hey.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Gary. I remember first tuning into your channel a few years back, and it was I wouldn't say a few people because you didn't have a live chat session, but you had your Monday Matters, and you had your unboxings, and you had your builds, and I was regularly watching this. In fact, my best mate turned me on to your channel, And now you go on these live streams, and it's like take a ticket, stand in line. It's incredible.
It's 3 years on the 6th of August. It's 3 years since I published my first aircraft video.
Wow. Okay, I thought it was longer than that. Okay.
3 years exactly on the 6th.
It just feels longer, Jim.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you get to be my age, Mikey, and things start blurring by. People tell you, no, Jim, that was 25 years ago. Oh,
Gary,
I thought it was yesterday.
No, 25 years ago today was the last running of the Royal Naval Field Gun Competition at Earl's Court.
Oh, you guys were talking about yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 25 years ago today was the last run of the real field gun competition. If you haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube. Look up The Last Run, 1999.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it before, it will blow your mind what these guys used to do.
25 years ago today, I was in my second week of summer holidays before going up to high school. I just finished secondary school. No, junior school. That's it. So I was 11 years old
today.
25 years ago.
25 years ago today, I was 34 years old, and some things in my life weren't going so well. So it was kind of a sourpuss Jim.
Yeah. Not the lovely Jim we know today.
Jolly, jovial, happy, bald-headed, smiley face Jim. Yeah.
This popped up in memories today on FaceTube. It's 8 years ago today. So that's this is us
Spot the
delivering
white-haired gentleman.
I know, right? So yeah, the guy in the back with the white hair. That's me.
Bottom of my away.
We were dropping the Orion AP3C Orion off at HARS, which is the Historical Aircraft Restoration Society down south of Sydney, down in the south coast.
Oh, is that
that's a tank called Neptune?
I was going to ask about the airplane on our right side of the screen. Okay, it is a Neptune. All right.
Yeah. So that was it. So that was cool. It was cool to be part of that. Like,
yeah,
it was very cool. Very nice.
Oh,
I was going to ask Gary. Go ahead.
Duke says, only 2 likes. Smash that like button. Yeah, please do it. It all helps.
That's all? Come on, folks.
No, there's 6. Sometimes you have to reload.
Oh, yeah, you have to refresh. That's right. You're right, Tiffany. Yep.
That's cool. 6 is good. Appreciate every one of them. Totally Scam Mall says, you've done very well, Gary. Yes.
Thank you.
I remember the videos that I used to love that you used to do, Gary, were the like the Mystic Meg ones with the cup.
Oh yeah. That's an annual favorite. Dale at Airfix tells me that he loses sleep at night when I've done one of those. It gives him nightmares. So I just say, just glad to be of service.
Steve says, Jim, have you started the new? Sorry, go on, Gary.
I just say I love doing them because it's just something different, and you get to play a lot with all of the gadgets in the editing suite, and you can recolor things and change lighting, and you can just go completely crazy. And at the end of the day, if I'm wrong on everything, I'm wrong on everything. Who cares? No one remembers 3 months later. So
do you get any negativity? Like, I get on with that, talk about modeling instead of
No, well, I don't so far. Mainly because I think people will know that if they say that, I say, well, don't watch it. It's pretty clear from the thumbnail what's going on. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Wait until a thumbnail comes up of a build you want me to do.
Yeah.
And I'm here to have fun as well as make a living. I'm here to have fun.
Yeah. See, this is what people don't understand as well, is not everyone on YouTube is making a living from it. So don't expect people to, cower down to the audience all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I speak to you guys. I mean, you, John, Gary, and Tiff about ideas and stuff like that. But that's because they're sort of part of my team now.
Yeah, feels like
yeah.
Part of the Three Veterans by accident, really.
Yeah. And Jim is the audience in chief.
Yeah. You open up a link and who shows up? That guy again.
That guy.
I did actually say we know for a fact Jim's going to come on.
And I was my coffee was just boiling, just finishing boiling. I was still waking up. I saw the link. I was like, oh, okay, I go. I mean, it's like my dog when I open up the bag of biscuits. He's right at my feet.
I said to Tiff before I come on, I said, Tiff, we know we love Jim and we know for a fact he's going to be on. But please make sure the people get to speak today.
Yeah. I just for the record, and everyone knows, please, folks, jump on in, have some fun. I mean, I'm just a ham, and you put a little caffeine in me, and I can talk way too much. But the fact is, I love this kind of stuff. It's really fun. I mean, to me, it's a very enjoyable 2 hours. And one of these days, I'm going to get a setup where I can build whilst taking part of this as well, which I would like to do. But yeah, folks, anyone out there, please, you're welcome. So come on in.
One of the things I like about you as well, Jim, is you're fully aware of how chatty you can be. So you've got no problems. If I say to you, Jim, give someone else a chance a minute,
right?
You've got no problems with that.
Right. Yeah. Well, it comes with being chatty.
You fill in a lot of content. There's never a quiet moment, which is great.
Like I said, you put some of this in me, and when you talk about when you were younger. When I was younger, I was the same way in school. I mean, I was either just passing or failing classes. All things I could do. It was a very, very awkward social childhood I had, and I would not talk. And now look at me. You can't shut me up. I'm like William Shatner.
That's a good thing because it makes you very personable as well.
I love William Shatner.
Well, that's true, John, because as strange as it may seem, I'm not in love with myself nearly as much as William is.
Oh.
But anyway, yes, folks, please do. I mean, I would gladly cede a space in here to allow others to come in. So, I mean, come on in. The water's fine. It really is. You're amongst friends, and no one's gonna badmouth or diss you, or it's not the school playground.
No. Hell yeah.
Totally Scam Mole says, I used to love watching those guys doing the field run, especially as it's so bloody heavy.
Oh, it's amazing. I thought I saw one a couple of years ago. It must have been a repeat then, because they were, at the end of that, they were running up. On parade ground, it was, yard arms and all that sort of stuff, and doing all that sort of hanging off it. It was phenomenal.
Are you on about what's it called something the mast?
Manning the mast.
That's it.
Yeah,
with the button boy at the top.
Yeah, after I remember watching the field gun race. Really, it would have been Edinburgh Tattoo, I would imagine, but it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I've watched the Manning of the Mast on YouTube and stuff. I'm like, I could just about manage to do the rigging part, but you would not get me to do button boy.
No.
I would literally rip you to pieces just for trying to make me do it before I would actually let you get me up that rigging.
I'd give it a go, but I've never really been scared of heights.
I'm terrified of heights. That's why I joined the army, not the Air Force.
Now, it's pretty much the hour, Mikey. Are you going to try to be on time, or what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Your channel.
It's up to you guys. What do you want to do? I mean, I've got plenty of time on this StreamYard, so it's not an issue.
I'll roll with the flow. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm in. So,
what about you, Gary?
I'm happy. I'm sitting here painting my things, my boys. Everything's good.
People want an extra half hour, an hour, something like that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We can do that.
Happy.
John's always happy.
It's all an illusion. I get off and God, I hate the
bloody most jovial person I've ever seen whilst building a mini art kit.
Yeah.
Jim says, Steve, yes, I have. It's the Tamiya F-14 Tomcat, a very detailed model, very detailed. Yes. I've never built a Tomcat.
Is it 48? Did I ask the other day, 32nd or 48? Tomcat.
Can you see here? Hold on. I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. Hold on, let me back up a bit. It's that big of a box. There it is. Let me get that glare out of there. There we are. Yes, it is quarter scale, John.
So
And
that's the one with the deck.
Yes, there it is right there. It comes with the deck and the launch crew. Yeah. And it's going to be a bit more of a challenge to store because the wings in the launch mode are fully spread out. So the wingspan increases dramatically. So this is a very nice kit, though, and worth the $300 I paid for it.
Wow, is it that much?
Yeah.
Well, you can go back to regular camera, Mike. You don't want to see my face too long. You'll lose your viewership.
It's me that's in charge of all that. Like he keeps pretending he's in charge of that, but it's not me.
I see. Yes. Well, behind every man is a great woman, Tiffany. So
don't say that. My wife's here. Yeah, she's lovely. She's just been chasing a cat off the garden, I think. Because I heard her shouting at something, and then I saw her running up the drive with a cat running away from her. Because one of the local cats keeps coming in and shitting in the garden. Steve says, "Oh, nice. I bet it has a ton of stencils."
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I have a Tomcat kit here, but it's not mine. A friend.
You stole it. You bastard.
Yeah,
You thieving bastard.
Bloody thief.
Yeah, one of my troops. Oh no, he's promoted. We were the same rank when we both stopped, but he bought one for me to show him how to make it, and we haven't got around to it yet. But it's that one there, the Fine Molds, 72nd one.
Wow, I didn't know Fine Molds made a Tomcat. Okay,
and that's a beautiful looking thing. I'll just, it won't take much time. I promise. But
making big screen, please.
So
enlarge his head a little bit more. There we go.
You've got a choice of having, that's a spine of the aircraft behind the canopies, but you can have the fuel lines exposed and different panels off and stuff.
My!
So it's pretty cool.
Wow.
It's a nice,
John,
nice kit.
Is there a date on the manufacture of the kit? I'm just curious.
Oh, no, not that I could see straight away.
Okay.
Scalemates is your friend.
Right.
I wouldn't do that.
Right. I'll look it up. That's okay. That's all right. Thanks.
2017.
Okay. Yeah, the reason I ask is because you can definitely see a lineage in Fine Molds kits. I built one of their very first aircraft models, which dates back to like 2000 or 2002, and it really wasn't all that, it didn't really go together all that well. I was expecting a bit more, but I have heard that more of their recent vintage stuff is very well made. It fits together very well.
Well, the twin Paul had built the better looking Marley, had built the Y-wing from Star Wars, a Fine Molds one. And that was a gorgeous kit. I love that. So no, that'd be good. Like I want to build it with him. I don't want to do it and give it to him because
because he'd know I've stolen it then.
Well, he knows it's here. I keep asking if he wants to start.
You don't want to give him the evidence, do you?
No, because what he wanted, he specifically wanted a the Jolly Rogers. So yeah, so that scheme there, the one from like the Final Countdown. In fact, he'd never seen the movie, but then I thought, well, having like one of those.
Oh, it's a Jolly Rogers. Okay.
Yeah. On a stick. Chasing down a 72nd scale
on a stick.
Mitsubishi Zero, I think would be fantastic.
Yeah. Steve says, "Yes, guys, keep going, please. This is infinitely better than the shit on TV." Oh, thank you.
I agree.
Steve says, "Manning the mast is very good, but it's more about balance rather than strength." Yeah, I totally get that because I only have to look at a 30-foot ladder and I start going dizzy. I don't climb up the damn thing. And yet I used to enjoy abseiling. Bizarre. Duke says, Tiff is definitely earning her hobnobs today. Yes.
I agree.
I'm definitely going to bring you a pack of hobnobs to Telford, Tiff.
Good. We've been waiting for them for so long.
You can eat them as you're walking around.
Yeah.
And to our Australian viewers, hobnobs are half price at Woolworths this week.
Except we
But
don't
then
have
again, so are
Woolworths
Tim Tams.
most of the time. Steve says, "Tell us." I'm assuming that's my wife and the chasing the cat. Tell us, put pepper down or some clear bottles half filled with water. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
I prefer air rifles and.
Mike.
I absolutely do not do that. There have been quite a
My.
few cats disappearing around here lately. Apparently. It is not me. I am not responsible. I don't leave the house enough to be bothered by them.
Wait a minute. Read this next one, Mikey.
Duke says, I fell off a 40-foot ladder the other day.
All
Were you on the
40
first
feet?
rung? Or... Yeah. It doesn't say he was up 40 feet. He says he was on a
Yeah.
40-foot ladder. So he could have fell off the first rung. He could have been 6 inches off the ground.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I just got it.
I mean,
It's
like I
okay.
said, I'm going to ride 60 miles to celebrate my 60th birthday. I didn't tell you guys it's going to be 1 mile a day. So it's going to be 60 days. I'm just going to keep that birthday celebration going.
Yeah.
Do you reckon buff would look all right for plaster on a building?
I'm sorry, say that again, Mikey. I didn't hear you.
Buff paint. Would it look
He-
right for plaster on a building?
He means buff.
That's what I said. Buff.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess so. It's pretty close. I mean, do you want to have it like stucco plaster, with a texture, or is it just going to be, just like plaster spread out with a trowel?
Yeah.
I think that color would be suffice, though. I would think so.
I might lighten it up a little bit.
You could also apply it and then dry brush lighter shades of it on top of it.
Yeah. Because it's supposed to be like a 1940s farmhouse sort of thing. Yeah, I think if I lighten it up with a bit of white, that should be all right.
That's what I like about those eyedropper bottles and the water-based acrylics. Excuse me, because I do that too. Is I can use the base color as the base color, and then from there add white, or if I want to darken it, go that way. If I want to go light to dark or dark to light, it's right there, and it's so easy to mix. And water does it, and it's easy peasy lemon squeezy.
It's pretty much how I do figure painting.
Yeah, that's how I do it. I base my figures with lacquer, and then I go. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Speaking of which, how are you getting on with your figures, Gary? Let's have an update. Tiff, can you make Gary big?
Well,
Can you put him on the big screen?
Blimey.
No, that's you demonetized, if you will. and that's the other half. So
Very
I painted,
good.
got the paints in here with some white streaks of paint down the side. And
I
this
like
is
that. Yeah,
the
very
guy
neat.
who's going to be doing the stripes on the wing.
Okay, very good.
I'll show you while you're here. I don't know if it's going to show up very well on the camera.
I saw
But
that
that's-
yesterday.
That's the B-26 wing.
Right.
But I've used the AK pens on it, and it's really not showing up. It gives it like a really nice sort of painted on texture. You're imagining like the day before D-Day, someone's gone around and said, right, you guys pick up that white paint, pick up that black paint, get on the wings, measure it up, get it done. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be all painted off and sprayed on. It's like
They just put them on with
brushed.
yard brushes, didn't they?
Right.
Yeah. So it's actually given it a really nice
That's a
brushed
great idea,
look,
Gary.
rather than
great idea.
airbrushing the whole thing.
Yeah.
So would you recommend those pens, would you, Gary?
I love them, man. Really
I was
like
thinking
them.
of getting some at some point.
I've been really enjoying using them. Let's see if I've got this little thing, this little bow fighter. That's all painted with their pens.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, right.
Very
It's a 144th, so it's quite a small scale, and it's just so nice to use. I painted all the canopy with it. Just really cool. Like you can get some nice detail. You turn them on the side, so use the side of the nib, if you like, and it gives it a much bigger area.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I see.
But
Yeah.
it just seems like, if I've got, say, I don't know, an undercarriage strut on a frame, and I just needed to get it silver, rather than finding my aluminium paint and a brush and getting it, I just pick out the pen, bip, 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 done, aluminium. It's really easy.
I imagine it's easier for picking out detail as well, because you can just rub it over the edges rather than risking getting too much paint on there with the brush.
Absolutely. And my favourite thing so far has been doing propeller tips. Normally you've got a black prop and you've got a yellow end, and you normally have to undercoat that with white and then put the yellow on. Whereas this, I just get the pen out whilst it's still on the frame, so I can get them lined up nicely. And bop, 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 bop. And the density of the yellow is insane. How good and rich.
Really?
And
It covers that well?
Straight onto black. Yeah.
Holy moly, that is good. That's something to brag about.
In fact, if you I think I did it on the P38 I just built. I show it on there.
Okay.
Where I get to do the propeller tips.
Right, yeah, you did the propeller tips. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's just with that, with no other color underneath, just yellow. And you know what yellow's normally like? It's
Yes, I do.
pain in the backside to try and get right and to get that density. But this is really cool. I haven't tried all of the pens yet. I'm just sort of slowly working my way through ideas. I've got a couple of some Japanese aircrew figures, the same scale as this. So I might put those on, try one with some pens and one with some regular paint and see what they look like.
Sure.
They haven't got the range of colors yet. Like there's no flesh color tones on there at all in that set. But that's only 34 or 38 colors. I'm sure they'll develop the range as it goes on. But they're cool. They're really nice to use.
Well, considering the positive feedback they've received, I think they will expand on it.
I'm sure they will. Yeah, they're a joy to use and just so convenient when you've just got one thing. On the P38, again, I was taking the mask off because I had this awful masking tape. And I a couple of times pulled off the aluminium and the primer underneath it. I just got the aluminium pen out and just I can't see half the time where the bits are missing. It just touches up really nicely bits of paint of metal. So yeah, I'm really liking them.
Cool.
So if anyone from AK is watching and wants to start sending me some free stuff, that'd be great.
I like you, Gary, but not that much.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what they say. AK and ammo and everywhere else, and Vallejo. Yeah. Thanks for your work, but not that much.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get stuff.
Mikey, I think we got a confession from Duke.
He says, "What scale are those, Gary?"
Figures are 1/48.
48th. Yeah. And mops. Yes. I think he means.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, they use mops and brushes, didn't they?
Yeah.
Steve says, "I'm thinking that the pens might be better for painting small fiddly things than a brush. I might grab some."
I'm glad it's just over a £5 for a pack of 3, and I think the 34, which is basically all the pens, I think it is about 70 quid.
I think you can get it for about 62, can't you?
Yeah, just under. Yeah, somewhere in the 60s, I think mine was. But yeah, they're great. And you talk about painting with mops. I remember back in '82 with the South Atlantic, the Sea Harriers went down there with the white undersides. They had extra dark sea grey on top and white underneath. And then they figured out probably wasn't the best way to hide yourself against the dull grey skies of the South Atlantic in the middle of their winter. So they painted them all over with extra dark sea grey. Now the planes on was it Illustrious, the or Invincible, which either of those which went down. They had a proper spray booth on board and proper. On Hermes, they didn't, and it was all brushed on. So you can get decal sheets where the white of the roundels, when it's overpainted with blue, isn't quite pure blue because it was literally painted on for the aircraft of 800 and 801, I think, were on Hermes. And the undersides, they always say also, do the undersides, actually do them with white and then spray over extra dark sea grey, so you get that difference in tone, which was apparently quite noticeable. But the ones on the modern aircraft carriers, they actually had a proper spray paint place, so they looked much smarter.
Well, that's good to
Fascinating.
know.
I did not know that. That's another story off the out of history. That's great, Gary.
Yeah.
That's really super interesting for someone like me. I'm modeling geek. It's like, wow, they're painting them on the ship. That's
Yeah.
cool. You know.
Yeah, so if you're going to do, say, an 800 Squadron Sea Harrier that had been recoated, the bottom of it needs to be a very slightly paler grey than the extra dark sea grey of the top, and the roundels need to have that two-tone blue and the red in the middle. Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, Mikey, by the way, Duke cleared up the 40-foot ladder mystery.
Oh yeah.
Steve said Scale Model Shop have the complete AK pen set in stock for £63. It's 34 pens.
There you
go. And Steve, Totally Scale Model says, I've just bought the orange and yellow for my Voyager. Excellent.
Orange for the Voyager. Oh, for little detail bits, I'd imagine. Okay. Doom, 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 doom. All right. 341. One more piece and then finish off the first page of this build.
So, John, with the model you're working on, the Burger Panzer, do you have a lot of small parts to remove and clean up? And are they easy? Well, I mean, like for sausage fingers like myself, that kind of stuff is a challenge just to get a hold of it properly to clean the burrs off them before I install them.
Oh, it really is. Yeah, they're small. So I'm doing it all with the OptiVisor on. You don't see my head on the screen because it's ugly. But
you're the minion from Down Under.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's a bit. Well, some of them are ridiculously small, but
yes,
you know, it's
yes.
It's not. I think the only way to do mini art kits is using the extra thin. I don't think you'd be able to do it with either the Tamiya White or the needle contactor.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of the big bits I'm putting on with the contactor, but
right.
I've said before, probably you may not recall,
yeah.
Jim. But
if you'll pardon me, I'll be right back. I've got something I'd like to show. Oh, I don't fall over first. Okay, let's see if I get this up to the screen where you can see it. If I got it on the right side. This is something I bought years ago at a hobby shop, and I didn't think I would have any use for it. And I find myself using it at every turn. It is literally, like kind of like the Tamiya thick liquid cement, the white cap stuff. And it's a combination of that and the contacta glue, where it's a solvent-based glue. It's not resin-based, so it doesn't just hold apart. It actually forms a weld between two plastic parts. I find myself using it a lot more because it does offer the ability to put that on the surface and then apply the part instead of with the liquid cement, which I find evaporates quicker than when I'm ready for it.
Yes.
To try and grab the small part with the tweezers, then put it in place and hope it doesn't pop out of the tweezers before I get there. But that glue, I'm hoping I can find this stuff again because Model Master is now defunct. I mean, the Rust-Oleum Corporation bought them out, and they still make the original Testors paints from when I was a boy, but the Model Master line of everything has been eliminated. So this stuff is very useful. I'm hoping because I did buy some contacta and it was stringy right from the moment I opened the tube. I was very disappointed in that. Now I'm not saying that's how everyone is. Maybe that was just a bad batch, but yeah, I was pretty disappointed when I got that home and I started using it. I was like, that stuff's bloody stringy like it was when I was a kid.
You know, I use the Tamiya cement.
The liquid one or the white cap stuff, Tiffany?
Well, it's in a glass bottle.
Yeah, but white cap or green cap?
White cap.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the stuff I'm talking about. Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, we can't get that white cap stuff here in the United States. That and their enamel paints are not available here in the U.S.
Oh.
It'll probably be something to do with the ingredients.
I'm sure.
Because it's like, I know there's like the Mountain Dew drink that you guys have. It has to be changed to be sold here in the UK.
You mean it can't burn your stomach out?
Yeah, it's something about our is it?
It's because the Americans put a load of corn syrup in it and things like that.
Yep, that bloody high fructose corn syrup. That stuff is just.
There's just certain ingredients. It's like the Fanta, the difference in the Fanta between the UK and the US.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, yeah, we Americans live off these homemade chemicals, and they consume it in millions of gallons of it a year, and you wonder why people have diabetes and high blood pressure. And the pharmaceutical companies are lining up to say, okay, we've got you supplied. We're ready to go. Bad food is cheap here in America. Good food is expensive. You want to buy good stuff, it costs a lot more. You want to eat for a low price, you can buy plenty of cheap bad food. It's plentiful here in America. No, I'm not kidding. That's really what it is. You know, a good loaf of bread will cost you a lot more than a cheap loaf of white bread.
We have a new chatter.
Look who's here.
Chalky says, stand by your beds, you horrible lot. Sorry I'm late. Just got home from camping. Excellent. Glad to have you with us, Chalky, old boy.
How was the weather out there, Chalky? How was Scotland?
I think
assuming he was in Scotland, right?
Oh, yeah, that's where he lives.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because I've heard summers in Scotland are quite different from anywhere else in the UK.
Stand by bed is not usually followed by sorry.
Yeah.
He's Jockinese mafiosa.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I think he went to do a kit test for all his camping gear at one of the local reservoirs near him.
See, he should be making them into YouTube videos because I'd love to watch a YouTube video with Chalky in it. In fact, I think Chalky should be coming up on the panel.
Yeah. I think you should pair pair Chalky and Sonic together, and they could do like a YouTube channel together.
The thing is, like, he knows this. I got a massive shock when I first met Chalky because he does not look how he sounds, like at all. It was a shock, but he's the same in real life as he is on, like, in the chat and stuff like that. Really nice.
What do you mean he doesn't look like what he sounds?
I know sometimes when you hear someone's voice, you have like a picture in your head of what you think they're going to look like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he looks absolutely nothing like how I thought he was.
Well, I don't know. I think when I hear him speak like that, and when Mikey told me what that meant, it sounds like I'm watching something from like a 1950s British film, and a sergeant major comes bursting into the barracks to wake everyone up.
And it was a compliment, Chalky. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. He replied.
Yeah, sorry. He also says the weather was excellent. He got his kit sorted for the year.
You see his last one, Tiffany?
Yeah. He says he'll take it as a compliment. It was meant as a compliment.
Well, yes, it was. You're right.
Nah, he knows how to do it.
Right. Good old Chalky. He's got a good sense of humor.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, I guess people are disappointed when they see my head. That in their mind, I should be looking more like Hugh Jackman, but I very much disappoint. Dead silence.
Hugh Jackman is an Englishman, correct?
Australian.
No, he's Australian.
Australian?
Mm.
Yeah.
He puts an American accent for
now
Wolverine.
you're hearing it
so-
from an American. Does anyone watch Ed Nash videos, his Forgotten Aircraft series?
Yeah,
YouTube
all the
channel?
time. Yeah.
When I first heard Ed speak, I thought he was an Australian.
Oh no, he's not.
But see that you're hearing it from an American. I say it with all due respect. I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes or create a problem. I'm not trying to be rude about it. It's just that I can't distill. Like for instance, when I first heard Tiffany speak, I really thought you were Scottish.
Really?
Yeah, because it's near to my ear. It's near Scottish, but you're from the north, so you're on the south side of Adrian's Wall. About the only ones I could recognize right away were the ones I grew up listening to as a child, and that's Michael. Anyone sounded like Michael Caine, that London accent or that Southeast accent, the Who, or all those British rockers. I mean, the Beatles sounded so different from guys like Black Sabbath and Motorhead and Judas Priest because they're from the Liverpool region. They got a little bit different sound to them, so I could distinguish that. I hope I'm not painting myself into a corner here.
No, you're not. No, you're not alone.
Yeah, because when I was a kid, I mean, you saw films on television that a lot of them had Michael Caine in them, and he's still one of my favorite actors. But I mean, he's got that thick British tone to his voice. You're bloody crazy, mate. I can't do a Michael Caine. But when I heard words like that, when I heard bloody, I remember asking my mom, why do they keep saying bloody? And she said, that's their way of saying something nasty.
No, I'm closer to Geordie land than I am Scotland.
And what is Geordie land?
Newcastle, northeast.
Newcastle, north. Okay, okay, all right.
The old
I've got an idea
Newcastle.
where that is. Yeah, that's along
The original Newcastle. What was that, Jim?
I said it's Newcastle's more or less along the North Sea coast.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
It's heading up that way. Yes.
All right.
It's on the East Coast.
Geez, figure it out, Jim. I can get Google Maps on my phone right now and find out where it is.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. It's another half hour. Mikey, your call.
Up to you guys. I'm happy. I'm spraying. I'm quite happy.
Gary will never be back again.
I'm getting so much done. It's cool.
You can't pay me enough to stick around for
My
another bloody half
Oh,
hour.
well.
Yeah, because I remember, Gary, you used to work on a model while you were doing your streaming, and you were involved so much that you often didn't get much done. But
That's right.
you were enjoying the conversation so much that I've noticed lately that it's just you just going right to the paying attention to what's coming across the monitor.
Yeah, especially running the competition thing with Nick.
Right.
You need to keep on top of all of the guesses coming in and stuff like that. And you just have, and also because with this StreamYard, I can't have two cameras here at the same time. On the old system, I used OBS, and I could have a webcam looking at what I was doing and this. But if I pay some more money, I can do it. But I'm not going to.
Gary,
but you can flip between cameras on this.
Gary,
yeah.
Since you've got OBS and StreamYard, why don't you link your OBS to the StreamYard, or just do it directly through to YouTube?
Because on OBS, I can't highlight comments without getting a plug-in, and I can't do. I have no idea how to do that.
But what you can do is connect the OBS to StreamYard and then just run it through StreamYard. So you'll
Okay, I'm
still
gonna-
have your OBS screen,
Right.
but you'll be able to pick out comments and things. Or you could get a modmin.
Yeah.
This one is not available.
Yeah, would your wife be interested in doing that, Gary?
Nope.
Well,
Absolutely not.
if he's doing it on a Thursday, I'd be happy to do it if he wants me to. Just pick out
Okay,
the comments and stuff for you.
We'll figure out. We will definitely work on some because I'd like to be able to do it a bit more. But it was fun working on stuff at the same time. But it's also fun just chatting. You know what I mean? But then it's kind of slightly arrogant of me to think that people are going to want to tune in for 2 hours just to look at me talking. So I'd rather provide some content as well.
But thousands of people are doing that anyway, Gary. Like, keep coming back. It's like people watching this because I guess, like, I wouldn't. Here's the thing. I keep on thinking to myself, like, who the hell would watch this? But I would watch this if I wasn't me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
It's the sort of
John.
content
I know what you're saying.
I would follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of these things out there, but what I like about this in particular is that you have an involvement with the audience and an involvement amongst whoever's on screen. And this is not a knock against others who do this, but most are just with the camera overhead on their table working on their models, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that that's bad, but I find this a little bit more interesting and audience participatory.
Well, that's why
it's not including everyone.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like to make sure that we're keeping on top of the comments. So as they come up, we read them out.
Right.
So that the audience feel like they're involved as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really important.
Yeah. As much as I love the chaps who do the IMC, Jonathan often doesn't get to comments. He spends most of his time talking with Drew or whoever his second that he has with him on that day. And and sometimes it's like I do post a question now and then. I don't expect it to be answered, but I was like, well, I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of feedback on it.
Well, this the thing is, like, when I've been on live streams and I've commented, I actually find it really cool when they actually take the time to read it out.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, absolutely right, Mikey. That's true. Yeah.
So speaking of which, let's catch up on comments. Compliments. I wish there would be compliments. Chalky says, "It's cool. I know I'm a fine specimen of manhood. A fine specimen of manhood they have over there.
Fine pair of shoulders there.
Yes. With calves like tree trunks." Columbus models. Johnny's more like Kylie Minogue.
Oh, that old chestnut. Yeah.
Chalky says, Kane speaks Cockneyese. He says, fucking hell, spell check. I mean, Kane. Because he put Kane instead of Kane.
Kane. Pick new.
Totally CML says, gotta go, guys. Catch you later, TTFN. All right, see you later, Steve. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Bye.
Tiffany says, catch you later, TSM. Sounds like a train company.
It
does. Jim says, totally scale models. See you, Steve. Take care. Wow, we've still got 9 people watching. Is that 5 of them us? Right, John.
I'm not watching me.
I do have YouTube open.
Well, I liked it twice on my YouTube feed on my computer and on my phone because they're 2 separate apps. So I'm used to voting more than once. I'm from Chicago.
Yeah. So we know Jim watches it on his phone at the same time. He loves watching himself, don't you, Jim?
Actually, the comments are blank on my computer screen, so yes. I keep up with the comments on my phone. Yeah.
I did that on purpose so that you couldn't.
We did.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, because when I'm on other chats, like when I'm on with Jason on Saturdays, Aussie Scale Modeler, we follow the chat link on the right side of the screen, and there are people who sign on, and I'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" Because sometimes he get, depending on his timing, he can get people from the UK to tune in. If it's earlier in the evening, it's night time for everyone in the UK.
Yeah. Well, this thing on this channel, because it's only a small channel, we don't get many people on it. I can make it more personal. So can take the time to reply to them all.
That's true.
It's not like
Yes.
we're being bombarded by them.
Well, Jason uses StreamYard too, so he has a limited number of people that sign on anyway, and they're usually the same lot that shows up, and most of them are Aussies because it's their local time. But occasionally we get people who sign in, like some nut like me who signs in from America at 1 a.m. That's how I got to know those guys.
Yeah. Duke says he's still here. But hey,
Duke. Yeah. It's 10:30.
Must be doing well because you've stayed on for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's John. It's 10:30 at night. Where are you? Friday night, 10:30.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. I'm
One
on
of
top
the
of my
days when
time.
you'd be out on a Friday night drinking.
Yeah, you've got more of a clue than I do. I get it wrong every time.
Well, I just remember Jason saying he's 15 hours ahead of me, so I just add 15 to my time because he's up in Cairns. Is that how it's pronounced?
Cairns.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So here's an interesting question. Can you put it up off Steve, please, Modman?
Yeah.
He says, "Do you get sick of the same people turning up in your stream every time?" No, not at all.
Not at all.
Actually, I think it's a bit
comforting.
humbling. It's comforting and it's a bit humbling as well.
Does
Because
anybody
people like it that much that they want to turn up every time, and I just not.
Absolutely.
Does anybody remember the American situation comedy called Cheers?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great
Yeah.
show.
Well, if you remember the opening title, it was a place you go where everyone knows your name.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's got the same kind of comfort as your local pub.
Yeah, exactly. It's about community and feeling like you can talk to people and stuff. So I got no problem on here if people are struggling and they want to sit and talk about their mental health. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
mind.
that's what
It's called Bearded Veteran Creates, not Bearded Veteran spends his whole day modelling.
Bearded veteran talks down to you.
Yeah, tells you to man up. No, it's not
you
like that.
bloody little sod, toughen up. That's toughen up. That's what my dad used to say to me when I was having a problem with somebody. Come on, toughen up.
Normally over here they say grow some balls.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
like-
that's a pretty good thing to say today.
All I say is I have balls. They're bigger than yours, and I wear them proudly on my chest.
Bingo.
James says, still listening in while he edits. Excellent. See, James is becoming another one of our regular BBC families members, isn't he? He's cool. Little community member that looks like Malrus off Roll Britannia.
Roll Britannia.
Does Square have
You know
James, you
Paul
have
that
a
plays
YouTube channel?
Malrus, John.
Yeah.
You
Not
look a picture of
personally.
Paul who plays
Yeah.
Malrus. He looks
What's
like
that?
spit of James.
All right.
Or James looks a spit of him. Whichever. I don't know which one was born first, but they are each other's doppelganger. And I would absolutely love to be there one day when James turns up at a Games Expo or something like that and meets Paul from Roll Britannia.
For those who don't know, Roll Britannia is a podcast of British friends that had never played D&D ever, and then made a podcast about it. As in, like they played their first game, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Very, very funny.
Yeah, it's really funny. My favourite one was where they were trying to they caught a bat and tied a piece of string to it, and float around like a balloon as they were going through the caves. Let it just fly on the end of the piece of string.
Oh,
We've got another comment, which is actually a very nice one. Milky says, "You're a great lot and deserve all the good things that come from this channel, my friends." Oh, thank you, Chalky.
oh.
And Jim says, "I agree, Chalky. They're a bunch of bastards. No, a good lot of people."
What is it? Fox News? What are we going on? What is
Now. Chalky says, "I agree. What? No, Jim
No,
says
no,
chalky.
that's
I
me going
agree.
to Chalky.
Jim says chalky. I agree. Chalky. A good lot of people. And he also says, James, do you have a YouTube channel? Good question.
Yep.
James says he's heading to London Comic Con with Tag. We'll have to try and find him for a photo. Yes, you will.
Yeah.
He will be there. Look for the Roll
sorry,
Britannia stand. He will be there.
Tag?
Because
Can you
on
help me
their
out with
Discord.
that?
I'm on their Discord, and they were saying the other day that they're going to London Comic Con.
Mikey, can you help me out with Tag?
CAD.
No,
Oh,
he's
what he just
going
said
to
in the
London
comments.
with the previous comment.
The
Going to London with
TAG
TAG.
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 Oh, yeah. Tag is Tactical Advanced Game. So there's an organisation in the UK called Game Therapy UK,
Ah,
and they use role play games and tabletop games and stuff like that as a form of therapy to help with mental health.
Wonderful.
Tag is the veterans project of that, so it's an offshoot,
that
and
sounds
it's
great.
aimed exclusively at veterans. And we do different games like Dungeons and Dragons. James is going to be doing a Candela Obscura game and things like that, and we do them all online. So we usually do the voice, the communication stuff through Discord, and then we use a website called Roll20 where we can see the maps and we can do the rolls and stuff. So it does all the maths for us and things. But it's a lot of fun. We've got one game that me and James play every other Thursday called Goblin Quest, and it is absolutely hilarious. You start off by making 5 goblins that are supposed to be really bad clones, and because they're bad clones, they've all got really weird deformities that you make up. So you could make up that one guy made up that one of his goblins had too many teeth in his mouth, so he's just like a massive mouthful of teeth.
God.
I made one so like they've got a huge flabby backside that drags on the floor and things like that. And you have to come up with tasks that you want to achieve. So you have a family dream. So it might be you want to drink a cup of coffee. So the 3 sets of tasks are split down into 3 sections, 3 stages of how, and eventually how you're going to go from not having any coffee to how to drinking a cup of coffee. So you'll go through different stages. Like you need to find a coffee cup. You need to find something that's coffee, but because you're a clone that's only 2 days old, you don't know what coffee is. So you just see something brown on a table, like a line of brown powder on a table, and you pick that up because you think that that's coffee, and you put it in your cup. And you end up, you're trying to get to the end of the sort of the overall task without killing off all your goblins. Because if you get each time you say you're going to do something, you have to roll the dice.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get 1, then your character dies, your goblin dies. If you get 2 or 3, then it gets injured. If you get 4, 5, then it's a partial. It's not a success. If you get 5, it's a partial success. If you get 6, then what you're doing achieved the goal. And you have to get a certain amount of successes for each part of the task. But it's hilarious because you end up with like people saying, right, we had one, we're trying to get milk from a cow, but they don't, because they're goblins and they're only 2 days old, they don't know how to get milk from a cow.
Okay, yep.
So they're doing things like trying to charge it and headbutt it and things like that. And then they're killing themselves by running headfirst into the cow and getting stuck in the cow's ass and things like that. It is absolutely hilarious. And James has very kindly agreed to run a session on the Bearded Veteran Creates Discord server for the members of the channel that want to have a go at it. So we're going to do a session. I think me, John, Ollie, Gary. If you want to join in, Posh Gary, you're more than welcome.
I don't think I've got the imagination to do half of this stuff, man.
You'd be
incredible.
surprised.
Absolutely incredible.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do a session between a few of us that have already played it, or at least play role-playing games anyway, so that you guys can watch. And then if you're interested, run a session where and everyone else can join in.
Cool.
Sounds very good. Yeah.
So you'd have a choice. I think when we're doing the first session, we'll probably stream it through YouTube, so that other people can watch. But if the people on the channel in the Discord don't want to go on YouTube, some of them obviously, what we can do is we can do it so it just stays in Discord rather than on YouTube. On last week's game, James went through killed off 3 goblins in 3 rolls with the dice.
Okay.
You have 5 goblins. Like I say, you have one main overall task, which is split into 3 sections, and each of those 3 sections is split into 3 mini tasks, and then you have to achieve a certain amount of successes for each one to complete that bit. So, and each time you do something to try and achieve one of those successes, you have to roll the dice. James rolled 3 times and lost 3 goblins, one after the other, because he just kept rolling 1 and killing his goblins. So by the end of the game, we only had 1 goblin left between us, and one of them he only had 1 hit point, and he actually died achieving the final success of the mission to achieve the goal. So he literally died as he won the game.
Oh, well, then you talk about a pirate victory.
Yeah.
Is there like a Goblin Victoria Cross that can be awarded for this?
I know, yeah.
Because that's like, dying with your last breath that actually wins victory. That's what the VC was intended for.
Right. I put shipping solution on this wall, right? And then sprayed it with buff and white. Look how it's coming out.
You go big screen, please.
Oh,
it's like are you sure that's not crackling medium you put on there, and not chipping fluid?
No, chipping.
you're right.
Wow.
How cool does that look? It's looking like old plaster now.
Yes, very much so. I got a feeling if you try to chip that stuff, it's all just going to fall off.
Yeah, probably knowing my look. Should we catch up with the comments, Tiff?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Duke says you are all utter. Go on, I dare you. Steve says, cheers. Nope, it's more like Dad's Army and Mikey is Pike, you stupid boy. Oh, thank you very much, Steve.
Pike, he's a sergeant major, is that right?
Well, there was a Sergeant Wilson, wasn't there? But I think that would probably be you, John.
I saw the one.
You're so laid
episode.
back.
I
think Mr. Morris would be Godfrey, probably.
No, I don't know who's who.
Jim would be Corporal Jones, I think.
That. No, I've never seen Dad's Army, and I would like to find it. A friend of mine he found it on Netflix.
Ooh, I know what we could do. I have mentioned it before. I can stream. I can watch DVDs on my computer and run them through Discord, screen share. We need to organize a film night or something.
Okay.
But I'll try and remember. Modman, can you remind me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
James says, I used to run an archery channel, but when I moved up to Blackpool, I had less opportunity to create for it. Thinking of starting a D&D Candela-based channel on a more creative writing side. James, if you start doing that, I will definitely be up for helping you if you want. If you want someone to help take part in games and stuff, demonstration, I would be more than happy to help with that. Duke says, Young Ones quote for those who didn't get that.
Yes.
Oh,
I only saw one episode of The Young Ones, and that's where Motorhead appeared on there.
Yeah.
Never watched it.
You've never watched The Young Ones?
No.
It's one of the first programs that Rick Mayo and Adrian Edmondson appeared in.
Yeah,
And that's
good old
so
Rick
funny.
Mayo, may he rest in peace. Boy, I was so shocked when I heard the story that he'd been gone for so long, too.
Adrian Edmondson plays a punk in it, and he's got like a massive mohawk, and he's just constantly like bullying Rick in it and things like that.
Vivian.
Yeah, he's the one who had the studs in his forehead, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And he like headbutts him and everything with them in. They're all like, they're supposed to be university students, but they're all properly thick. Which, having driven around university campuses when I was working on a building site, I can see where they got the inspiration from.
Yeah, I was about to say, then they would fit in great with American college students.
Yeah. Chalky says, Steve T. Ha 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 ha, rolling on the floor, laughing. Sorry, Steve, I can seem to type today. Duke says, my character would die first roll every time. My dice rolling at Wargaming is terrible. We use roll 20, so it does it for us, which is quite exciting because nobody knows what's going to go on. And the good thing about roll 20 as well is when you're playing D&D, there's a lot of maths to do, and it does all the maths for you. Squarish says, I lost 3 goblins in 3 rounds, one after another, trying to milk that cow. He did. Everything he tried, he killed himself. It can be quite horrific as well, especially when I get playing it. So I come up with some dark stuff on it. I was trying. We had to try and distract a guard, and the deformity that my goblin had was that he only had one leg, and James's character had accidentally deleted himself by impaling himself on a key in a door. So I said that my goblin ripped his leg off, put it in his trouser leg, pretending it's his real leg, went to the front of the guard, pretended he'd ripped his own leg off, and then started eating it in front of him. And the guard passed out. So it can get quite dark.
Resourceful.
It can be funny, but it can be very dark and grisly. But it's all about the storytelling, and the players make the story up as they go along. Chalky says, my character would self-combust as a special move. Yes, you can actually do stuff like that. Because you make up your own like special skills and things for them. James says there's also a variant of the game where you have 5 Sean Bean clones and you have to make it to the end of a movie plot. Yes, that would be so much fun. Can we do that one, James, one day? Please. That'd be fun. We could set it as in Napoleonic times or something. That'd be fun. Make it to the end of an episode of Sharp. Steve says, Jim would be Private Joe Walker for sure. Has the gift of the gab.
Well, thank you, Steve. Be an honor and a privilege to be considered amongst the cast of Dad's Army.
Columbus says, someone on YouTube has uploaded every episode of Dad's Army in high def. Need to find the playlist again for a second binge. I've got all the episodes on DVD. I've also got An 8.5 Fault Mum. I've got Faulty Towers. I've got loads of box sets like that. So we can watch them on Discord and stuff. Sure.
Is the content controlled or edited, or is it just as they originally were broadcast?
As they were broadcast.
Very good. Very good.
That's why I buy them as soon as they come out, rather than
because if you were to watch them on something like BBC TV, which is a channel we have available here for streaming, a lot of those are content controlled. So I couldn't imagine them showing the Germans episode of Faulty Towers.
Really?
They tried to ban it, didn't they?
I think that one was at one point, but enough people said, "Come on."
Yeah.
But I really don't know because I've seen it so many times, and I know. And it's not so much them talking about the Germans. If you remember, there's one scene where the major is talking to Basil at the front counter, and that for Americans, I'm telling you, you're talking about university students. There would be American university students that would implode.
Well,
when
they've
they hear
completely banned An Ein Half Optimum off the telly, off UK TV, because it's just non-stop, non-woke stuff.
Yeah, but you had stuff. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what British television was. I think for instance, what is it? Mind Your Language and what's the
Well,
one?
Monty Python had plenty of jokes that were aimed at this, that, or the other thing within England itself.
Steve says, sorry, have to go, but thanks for this. Really enjoyed it. Bye for now. All right, see you later, Steve.
Yeah, cheers, Steve.
Keep up with that mini art, kid.
Yeah. Chalky says, I always thought us artists were the weird lot, but you D&D peeps are mental. Yeah. See, this is the thing. I'm quite arty as well. I'm very creative. So I love doing creative writing, like poetry and stuff like that. I do a lot. I like doing drawing and just that sort of art and scale modeling, which is basically sculpturing and things like that. So sculpture making, especially when you got into dioramas and things.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm very arty
creative imagination. Yeah.
And I found that since I've started letting myself do all this stuff, that's because this stuff's always been in my head, and I've always been someone that comes up with ideas for stuff I'd like to make and things like that, or like to write. And now that I've started going, actually, no, it's okay to do all that and just do it. I actually feel a lot better in my mental health because that sort of pressure of trying to control who I am and not show that side of me is gone. Because I was always brought up, it's not very manly to do stuff like poetry writing and things like that.
Oh, really?
You should be like outside welding and making stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
Most of the best poets in history have been male.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have put a couple of mine on my Facebook page. But I can put them on the Discord if someone wants to see them. If anyone wants to see them.
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead. Please do.
Okay. I will do that after the show. Because believe it or not, we're now at 2 hours and 56 minutes.
Oh, cripes.
Record breaker.
Yeah. Chalky. Oh, yeah. We've already read that out. So, since we've now done 3 hours.
Yeah. God, it flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've actually really enjoyed it.
Me too.
Good.
Yeah, as an impromptu thing, yeah, it's always fun.
So, Chalky says, art is for everyone and can help in ways you might not realize. Exactly.
Very true.
Like I said, I found that since I've started focusing on doing my creative stuff, I can sleep a lot better and things like that, because one of the problems I used to have was when I go to bed, I'd have all these ideas for stuff I wanted to write for poetry and stuff like that, but I didn't feel like I could get up and write it down because I didn't think it'd be. I thought it'd be sick, and people would just think I was daft. But now that I thought, bugger it, I'm going to do it anyway, I feel a lot better and I sleep a lot better because I don't have ideas rushing around my head all night. Maybe a touch of ADHD in there. Who knows? Duke says, have you finished yet, Gary? Funnily enough, hang on, we've got a banner for that. Survey says, is it finished yet? Oh,
There's a long way to go yet. Long way to go. I've started doing some of the shading on some of the figures, a little bit of shadowing and stuff like that, but still a long way to go with these.
Let's have a look at our guest presenter's work, what he's done in 3 hours.
Okay. Some of these guys are.
Didn't we?
Yeah, there you go. There's the first group is there.
Oh, I love the Mae West on them as well.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. And then that's my painter and a couple of crew bags and the paint pot dripping with white paint. What I was thinking, I kind of might do, but I'm not sure. You know, you can get those little stamps now that have got boots on the bottom, boot marks on the bottom for like doing marks on AFVs when people are climbing over the AFVs and leaving boot marks. I was kind of thinking whether I should get a couple of like a couple of 148th American boot marks and just put a few white things like it's trodden in the paint or something. I don't know. I don't know if I'll get around to doing that, but that's what I've been doing anyway. I've painted those 5 guys, and some equipment.
Excellent. Well, what about you, John?
I put this is the base of the Berg Panzer. It's starting to come together.
Wow.
So you can sort of see. So he's got. I need a pointing device, but it's all quite detailed. So he's got an accelerator and a brake in front of him. He's got the 2 clutch levers there for left and right, and they're connected, of course, to. The drives go to.
Hold it still.
Oh well, sorry, just trying to get
Pick a spot and hold it there.
There we go.
There you
go. Yeah, but you can see each of the tillers is connected to each clutch on each side of the gearbox there. That will line up with the engine. The engine mount, I've got that's one of them there. As that'll go that way eventually, sit on there. But I'm missing the differential and all that sort of stuff.
Is that a secondary engine for the crane? Is it? Because it's very small for a tank engine.
No, the crane on this one is.
Or did they have a PTO on the engine?
No, they didn't. So in this, you got all the gear that goes in the bottom of it there, and it's all basically radiator and all that stuff. But the drive then goes through the gearbox, the clutches out to the drive wheels on each side, and that's it. There's no pick-off for the
winch and the crane.
For the winch. The winch itself is it's just got a hand crank on it. So
you mean that thing wasn't powered? The winch wasn't powered?
No, it's a small tank, so it's literally it just sits on top there. There's no drive.
Right, yeah, because the T80 is a very small vehicle. Yes.
But you're right; it's a small engine even for a tank, but it's a small
T60,
vehicle.
Excuse me, not T80, not T60.
T60, T for Czech. Isn't that fun? But,
no, I think that's a Russian vehicle, John.
Oh, is it?
I think that's what the R in the parentheses is.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, all these ones then they must be captured German ones because they're all somewhere in the Eastern Front. Yada yada yada. This is me. So there we go. Unidentified repair unit of the Wehrmacht, Kharkov, summer autumn 1942. So that's how little tank knowledge I have. I thought that was German because it's got German cross on it, and it's
Well they utilize both sides utilize captured vehicles all the time.
Yeah, but
when the Germans captured them, they were called Beuterpanzers.
Beuterpanzers. Oh yeah,
right. Beuterpanzers.
And it's got a little first bit of PE is that seat adjustment sort of lead thing at the back, just holding the seat up there. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's small, but it's as much fun as what it looks. So
he's still not realised. Shh.
Oh shit, you bastards! No, it's not finished. Got a bit of work.
On with it.
I'm done.
No, it's a great amount of progress, John. That's very impressive. I like the assembly sequence that they have, where you can approach one part of it and then move on to the next one, like assembling the sides of the hull.
Yeah. So that's the next thing is once the engine drops in, there's still quite a bit of work to do on the engine. It just builds up and builds up and builds up. It's I'm glad Mikey forced me to do it. I would have enjoyed any of the things like I had on the short list. That's why they were on the short list. But I'm enjoying it.
Remy, my company was a recovery company, so they used recovery trucks and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you did, Mike, in the service?
Well, I was a vehicle mechanic, but there was only like 5 of us in our company. The rest of the company were all recovery mechanics.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah. Recovering.
I fixed what they broke.
Did you talk to him like a crusty old mechanic? What'd you break this time?
No, we tended just to keep to ourselves because they were all very clicky. So.
Jim, do you know why Air Force stay in 5-star hotels?
No, I don't.
Because there's no 6-star hotels where we deploy to.
Yes.
I'll remember that joke when I see my my best friend's older brother. He retired a full colonel in the United States Air Force, and I got to remember that joke.
Oh, he'll know it.
So for me, this all started off as black primer. I put that on to protect the bit I don't want to paint, but I sprayed it with chipping medium. Oh, come on, focus. No, it's not liking it. Try with that size more detail on it.
I can see that better.
Yeah. Let's try that.
Yes, there you go. You got it.
So I sprayed it with chipping medium and then sprayed it with a mix of buff and white and then went over it with white so it looks like a whitewash. And it's actually come out really cool. It's looking like the old plaster's cracked.
Are you going to leave it that way?
I might rub a couple of pieces off, something like that. But what I'm going to do is put it back on, and I'm going to put some foliage like going up the corner and things like that.
Right. Okay.
And I'm going to put a ladder going in front, leaning up against the wall.
Okay. Very good.
But, yeah. Cool. Take me off big screen. Scary.
I don't have any progress report. As I said, I have to get something going so I can, I mean, even while I'm just in the chat group, I could be working on something. Often I am when I'm not on camera. I'm over at my workbench fiddling around with something for a little bit.
Chalky says, my foxhole always had hot and cold running idiots. Great fun. Right, guys. It has now been 3 hours and 6 minutes.
Mad.
Yes.
Thanks for everyone for not only tuning in but sticking around. It's always fun, a lot of fun.
Yes, here. I agree. Yes.
So if you guys want to hang back for a minute or two afterwards, not a problem. But for now, say your goodbyes.
Bye, everyone. Have a nice weekend, and thank you very much.